order the July 15th, 2026 Town of Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment. I'd like to welcome everyone this evening. Before we start our process, I'd like to read the meeting procedures so that everybody knows what to expect. First, the clerk will read the case into the record. The applicant will come to the front here with these two chairs and make their presentation. The board will address the applicant if we have any questions or comments. Those that are in favor of the request are given the opportunity to address the board. Those that are opposed or having questions regarding a request are also given the opportunity to address the board. Those that are in either opposed or in favor will come to the podium and you would state your name and address for the record. The applicant will be given the opportunity for any rebuttal to opposition or any rebuttal to rebut any opposition, and the opposition is also given the opportunity for rebuttal. The board will address the applicant with any additional comments or questions, and if there are none, then the public hearing portion regarding the case will be closed, at which time the board will enter into deliberation and vote on a request or continue the case to a future date. Again, please, those who wish to speak, come up to the podium and be sure to give your name and address for the record. We also ask that all conversations that you may have, whether you are the applicant or in favor or against, that you address the board so that we have one single line of communication and we will give the response back and forth to anybody rather than going back and forth with each other. We also ask that you put your cell phones on vibrate or turn them off during the meeting so that we can proceed. You can stay for the deliberation, or you can go to the town office tomorrow morning for the results if you don't wish to stay. And with that, before we start, Nick, would you like to start?
My name's Nick Codner. I'm the building inspector and zoning administrator.
Lisa Sussman, a zoning board alternate.
Andrea Hansen, alternate.
Suzanne Brunel, voting member.
Jackie Bernard, voting member.
Brennan O'Brien, voting member.
Ariana McQuarrie, alternate.
Mitch Flag, voting member.
Okay, and tonight we have three of us that are four. Oh, Mitch, that's right, you came in at the last minute. So we're gonna do one.
You'll need two for the first one.
Yeah. So Lisa, have you voted yet as an alternate?
Yes.
Okay. Andrea? Yep. Adriana, would you like to be sworn in for?
Sure.
Okay, so we are going to, for the first case, we are going to need actually two. So Ariana and Lisa. Suzanne, for the first case, you are going to be recusing yourself. So for the first case, there'll be two of you that will be full voting members for that first case. On the agenda, we're going to do the minutes to approve from the last meeting for June. Do I have a motion for the minutes to approve from the June 2026 meeting?
I'll make that motion.
Who said that?
Lisa.
Lisa, okay, great. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Do I abstain?
I'm abstaining.
Yeah.
Okay, so two abstain, okay. So minutes for the June 2026 are approved. This evening, do we have a report by the town council liaison? Let the record show we have none. Nick, regional impact determinations for this evening?
Staff has determined none of the cases tonight have regional impact.
Great. Do I have a motion for regional impact?
I'd like to make a motion to accept the regional impact determination.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Now comes the public hearing of the cases. Suzanne will be recusing herself, so Lisa and Adriana, you're going to be full voting members for case number one. I am ready for the first case.
Case number 715-2026-1, a request for a variance from LZO 5.3.3.D.2.A to allow a shed to encroach 15 feet into the required 30-foot front setback in the AR1 zoning district. The property is located at 44 Clover Lane. tax map 16, lot 38-127, William and Sarah Molinari, owner and applicant.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Have you done this before?
I have not.
Okay. So take a deep breath. We don't bite, at least not that I know of. So state your name and address for the record.
My name is Sarah Molinari, and I live at 44 Clover Lane.
And did you bring your application with you that you filled out?
I did.
Perfect. So you can either tell us a synopsis of why you're here,
Okay.
and then go into the 5 points of law, which is what your application is, or you can start with your application, 5 points of law, and then give us a summary. It's
Okay.
up to you. Whatever you feel free.
Thank you. Thank you for considering the application. So my husband and my son and I live at 44 Clover Lane. It's part of Lorden Commons, which is a conservation subdivision off of Old Dairy Road. We would like to place a shed in our backyard. And as we began planning for this, we learned that because we have a corner lot, we have a different set of setback requirements. The 30-foot setback is not only from the front, but from the side as well. And because of the shape of our property, we would need to apply for this variance so we could place the shed. That map right there was our certified footing. I added a few details so that we could have an idea of the topography of the property. The house faces Clover Lane, which is at the bottom of that map. And then behind the house, a swale was placed for drainage, and that is at the foot of a hill. And the hill takes up a substantial part of the property and then is confluent with the conservation land that is directly behind it. The area of our yard that would be suitable for a shed is behind the house and to the right towards Calla Road. I put a notation there on the map. So we would like to place it there. It's at the base of the hill, right near the swale, 15 feet in from Calla Road. Also, I included a photograph. This was sent with an email subsequently that I was told would be included with what you received. This photo shows the proposed footprint for the shed, and there were also 2 photos of the model of the shed we saw at Reed's Ferry. Ours would be very similar, a bit smaller. Ours would be 10 foot by 14 foot. It would not have a contrasting colored door. And the wall, one of the long walls, which would face Calla Road, would be a solid wall. Bless you. We presented this to our HOA, the shed itself and the position on our property, and they quickly gave us approval and encouragement. And in preparation for tonight, I met with many of our neighbors. I explained our situation with the corner lot setbacks and showed them these same pictures with the proposed placement and what the shed would look like. And everyone was very kind in providing their support and providing their signatures. These included Greg Stone, who is the chair of our architecture board, the subcommittee of our HOA that looks to review placements of sheds and other external fixtures of property. Cindy Green, who is also on that same architecture committee, she signed for herself and also for her husband, Mitch, who is the head of our HOA. Chris Baker was also part of our architecture committee, and he signed as well, and many of our immediate neighbors. So in overview, we have this unique corner lot with a unique topography, so that placement of the shed falls within this 30-foot setback. But we had strong approval from our HOA and from our neighbors, so we are requesting this variance. And then I would go through each of the 5 points. The first point being the variance will not be contrary to public interest, and that this proposed shed placement would not alter the safe residential nature of our conservation subdivision. It poses no threat to the health, safety, or general public welfare, and it is in keeping with the functional and aesthetic concerns of our neighborhood. It does not negatively affect the communal areas, the conservation land, or our neighbors' private property. The second point, the spirit of the ordinance being observed. Our home was built in accordance to the setbacks as described for a conservation subdivision. Lorden Commons has 130 lots. Only 4 of these are actually on a corner. The 2 houses that are at the corner of Iris and Calla, they have neighbors immediately on either side. And then the remaining 2 lots belong to our neighbors, the Gordons, and then our lot. We only have one neighbor that is adjacent, and that's on Clover Lane. Then Calla Road faces the other side of our house, and then behind us is the conservation land. So it's a unique shape. The zoning town ordinance, the 533.d for setbacks, stating it needs 30 feet from the front and 15 feet from the sides and back, applies to all of our neighbors who do not live on the corner lot. And with these 2 adjacent roads, we have the extra 30 foot from both directions. And because of this, we are unable to place a shed in our yard with it, without it falling into that corner lot setback. The third point being substantial justice is done. Granting this variance would not cause loss to the public, and it would allow us to use our property in a way that would be commensurate with our neighbors' opportunities. Point 4, the values of surrounding properties will not be diminished. Placement of the shed would not diminish the value of surrounding properties. It would enhance ours and arguably those of our neighbors. And I would say this is affirmed by the approval of our HOA and the support of our neighbors. And lastly, the point 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. Under point A, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes. Our proposed shed placement will not negatively affect private property or common areas. And the variance would allow us to use our property as the rest of our neighbors are allowed. So we have a unique corner lot and topography that limits the placement of the available placement for the shed, so it would fall within the 30-foot setback. And we asked for this variance so that we can place a shed and use our property as our neighbors do.
Thank you very much. Are there any questions from board members?
I'll ask a couple. So you're putting it there, you were, from what I could tell, you were saying your backyard is not an ideal spot because of topography. And so is that really the only place you can put it?
It is, you can see here, the swale has river rocks on it. Beyond that is a big hill that it goes in both directions, and that is confluent with the conservation behind it. Directly behind our house is a patio that is there. So this is the only area. And the other side is where it's adjacent to our neighbor, and there's only 15 feet there.
Okay, and also I noticed you had 2 pictures with this, what looks like a black shadow or
Yeah.
something. Was it an attempt, because they were different, an attempt to show?
There are, I showed 2, this is where we are requesting. This is 15 feet from the road.
The other picture was different, like it was further.
It was. That one was 15 feet from the property line and goes right so that it bisects this small area of lawn. And both positions affect the road in the same way. And so because this would provide us with the most use of our yard, this is our request.
Okay. Hey, and I drove past there. You're way up in the north, as I recall. You're way in the north of town, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
on the other side of the highway.
And I could, obviously, when I drove by, I couldn't see where it would go. Nick, did you, like, I didn't get a feel, because it was within the fence, I figured it didn't, you know my usual question, sightlines, traffic. I didn't think it would do that, but did you get a feel for that? That's always the worry, safety.
No, their property starts a bit of a ways away from the asphalt.
Okay.
So it's not gonna be in the site view. And I'm a little, I wanna be sure that we're clear on this.
Okay.
It's 15 feet from the property is what you're asking for, the 15-foot encroachment.
So my understanding is that, so we are requesting 15 feet from the road. And I included both pictures because there was some ambiguity there.
Yeah, I see. On your request, it's 15 feet to encroach 15 feet into the setback. And the setback starts at your property line, not the road.
Okay, so we don't know then where she exactly would be, right? Where the shed would be, not you.
Did you say there's a different
Yeah.
picture shows? it?
There are
would be the
there are
second.
two
Yeah, there's
pictures
actually
there.
That
So-
one would be more accurate
Correct.
to the request.
Okay. As I was preparing this and speaking with, beg your pardon, one moment, please.
The fence is not on their property line.
It is within our
It's-
property.
It's within their
Yeah.
property.
I see. Their property is pretty close to the road then, from that picture.
The property line is approximately 10 feet from 10 feet from the road is where the monuments are, and our property, I'm sorry, the fence that we placed is within that. It starts at about 2 feet from within the monuments, and then it actually kind of travels into our property line as you get further back into it. There are certain limitations on the picture. I'm sorry that I'm not able to.
So Nick, do we have clarity then on where they're gonna be, or are you concerned there's not?
Well,
So, just so that the applicant is aware, it's not, it's from your property line,
yes.
not from the street.
Okay.
So that your pictures, where you have to place it and what we decide on, if we decide and we have a positive vote for this, you're gonna have to follow the guidelines that we're gonna give you.
Understood.
So, I guess, we just wanna make sure you understand that it's from the property line.
Okay. I
So
think
it's gonna
I think
be
this is
more
actually
like
par-
your second picture,
Okay.
not your first. That's not what you're gonna be. If we grant what you're requesting, it's not gonna look like the first picture. It's gonna look like the second picture.
Okay. All right.
Now, if you would like to not continue with this case because you would like to reconsider what you're asking, we can stop now and we can put you on for next month's agenda if you want to remeasure or reconsider what you're asking.
Okay.
Because with zoning, they call it one bite of the apple. You're gonna have an application for this, and whatever, if you decide to continue, whatever is decided, you can't come back and say, well, I'd like to change my mind. It's one time that you get to present.
Understood.
So if you have any doubts and you might wanna reconsider because you are not, what is in the second picture isn't what you wanted, you don't have to proceed. You can wait. You can-
Okay.
You can, withdraw the application for tonight. And
Okay.
we can hear it at another time.
Let me ask this then.
Yes.
If you grant us permission for this position here, my concern is this cuts the area in an awkward way. Would I be permitted to shift it a little bit so that there was more contiguous area?
So that is, I don't know, because we don't know how the voting's gonna go. There's still there's more questions. I have questions on this application.
Okay.
So, not knowing how the vote's gonna go, your question is legitimate because whatever we decide, if it's decided, we're very descriptive on what we're going to allow. So we might have conditions, if it was approved, that it was only a certain size and it's exactly as written in your application, which is you're asking for 15 feet into the 30-foot setback. You're not gonna be able to wiggle room any of that. It's gonna be very precise. So if you think that you would like to have a different application requesting a different whatever,
Okay.
you can. And you can withdraw tonight
Okay.
and then just come back and we hear it all over again because if you feel that you want to change something now, here's the opportunity.
The way that this drawing is right here, the right-hand limit of that black square or whatever shape that is.
Yeah.
That's closest to the fence. That is at 15 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. If that were 20 feet from the fence, if I'm given permission to be 15 feet from the fence, but we end up having to push it 20 feet so that we can have an area that is whole, there's less than 15 feet in that would be acceptable?
So you have to follow the maximum that we have allowed you. If you do less than what is required for the setback, you're required to have 30 feet from the setback. But
Yes.
you only want 15, and that's what you're asking for.
Yes.
And if you go 20 feet into the setback,
I'm sorry,
so if you only go,
if you permit me to have a 15-foot setback,
yeah,
and instead I use a 20-foot setback,
yep. So you're further into your own land.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so you can be granted the 15, if you were granted the 15,
Yeah.
but you used less. You can't use more.
Yes, okay, we are
Okay.
saying the same thing. Yes, thank you.
Now, Nick, and I will clarify that.
Yeah.
Would you have a problem if the applicant used less than what, if it was permitted?
Not
If
at all.
we vote?
Okay,
No,
okay,
no problem at
Okay,
all.
okay, thank you.
there we go. So, it's up to you if you want to continue.
I would like to continue,
Okay.
thank you.
Any other questions?
I'm good for now.
Any other questions? All right, so I have a few for you.
Please.
On the picture in my packet, I have 44 Clover Lane, request for a 10 by 12 shed, 15 feet off the road, so we've already clarified that. And it says 5 feet off the property line, so we've already clarified that, okay? So I just, for the record, because, you know, this, in your application, just needed clarification, which
Okay.
we just did. But in that picture that you gave us in our packet, which says 10 by 12, your application doesn't say how big the shed is within the application, but then I have a letter dated July 1st, 1:04 p.m., and it's from your Gmail to the town of Londonderry.
Yes.
And it says, the two pictures, two representative pictures of our wooden 10 by 14. So, my question is the shed 10 by 12 or 10 by 14?
The shed,
Because I'm not sure.
the shed is 10 by 14.
Okay. And you're absolutely sure?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Any other questions or clarifications that we need from the board?
No.
Good? All right. I'm going to take it out to the public. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant at this time? Let the record show no one is approaching.
So,
And-
Madam Chair, there are two letters, if you'd like me to read them.
Yes,
They are in
please.
favor. So there's a letter that says, "I support the Molinari's petition to the Town of Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment for a variance regarding shed placement at 44 Clover Lane, Londonderry, New Hampshire, 03053. It is signed by, I would estimate, 20 different signatures from people living on Clover Lane and Calla Road. There is also a second letter, which is handwritten, dated July 14th, 2026, and it says, "With regards to the public hearing mentioned on the backside of this note, I support the request for a variance for Sarah and William Molinari to enable them to place a shed on their property," and that is signed by Donna Galuzzo from 45 Clover Lane.
Thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak in opposition of the applicant? Okay, let the record show there was no one in opposition. I'm going to bring it back to the board one more time, make sure we don't have any questions before
The only question that comes to my mind, and I'm not sure it's very material, but this is a conservation subdivision. Did you happen to know, like, the intent of the do you know if there are any provisions in the original minutes or the plan itself? I see that we have portions of the plan, but to your knowledge, were there anything about the setbacks that they had special consideration for special purposes or anything like that?
My understanding is that the setbacks are somewhat smaller than standard for Londonderry because most Londonderry lots must be a full acre and ours are a half acre. The intention was there's many areas of conservation land that kind of like stream throughout the neighborhood. But it means that our lots are smaller.
Sure.
And I think that's my understanding, that
Okay.
the setback is instead of being 40 feet from the front, it's 30, but unfortunately we get that twice.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay.
And any other questions? Good? All right, so at this time, I will close the public portion of the meeting. Are we okay to go into the 5 points? Do we need to discuss anything?
I'm okay.
Good? Okay, let's do it.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because,
I would say it will not alter the character of the neighborhood, so I'd say it would not be contrary to the public interest.
I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
Agreed.
Lisa, do you?
I said agree, I'm sorry.
Thank
I didn't speak into the mic.
Agree?
I think, am I
Oh,
saying
that's
that?
right, that's right.
She can still agree. if
You
she
can
wants.
still agree, I mean, why not?
The spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because, I would say it would, there's no threat to health, safety, or the general welfare by the shed.
I agree.
I agree.
Agreed.
I'd also just say for the record that it seems that the placement of the shed is actually protective of the purpose of the ordinance. She's not putting it closer to the conservation, limits of the lands. I'm looking at it kind of on this aerial photo. It looks like the conservation land's further back, so I think that the spirit is observed. Agreed.
Thank you.
Granted the variance would or would not do substantial justice because, I think it would. I think the loss to the public, loss to the applicant's greater than any gain to the public by denying the variance.
I would agree.
I agree.
Agree.
For the following reasons, the values of surrounding properties would or would not be diminished.
I would say would not. It seems like a nice looking shed and, sheds are fine on the property, so it wouldn't hurt the value of the property.
I agree.
I agree.
Agreed.
Agreed.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because I would say there is not. This is a corner lot with a hill in the back that limits the places the shed could be put, and this placement of the shed is consistent with the purpose of the ordinance.
I think she said
And
there-
I would also add too, she has conservation land.
Right.
She's a half-acre lot when our lots, majority of them are 1 acre lots, so these variances are designed for these 1 acre lots, and she's a half-acre lot right out the gate.
Sounds good.
She's also only one of 4 corner lots.
And
in this
she's-
subdivision,
Right.
in this
She's the
subdivision
minority, yeah.
That appears to have, structure, other people have structures, so allowing the shed would actually make her property more in conformance with surrounding properties.
I would also add that the HOA has endorsed placement of the shed.
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because sheds are reasonable.
They are?
I agree.
Agreed.
Comments, restrictions?
All right, so for comments and restrictions, I want to make sure that we address, because of the conflicting information that we clarified
Yep.
during the meeting, that the shed shall not encroach more than 15 feet into the front setback. And the shed size shall not be greater than 10 feet by 14 feet. You can have a smaller one, but not a bigger one.
I support that.
I agree.
Agreed.
Well said.
I'm all set. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion in case number 715-2026-1 to grant the request for the variance with the restrictions that the shed shall not encroach more than 15 feet into the setback, and the shed shall not be larger than 10 feet by 14 feet.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So in case number 715-2026-1, the request for a variance was granted with the restrictions noted.
Thank you very much.
And if you have any questions, see Nick.
Thank you very much.
Good job.
Thank you.
There you go, sir.
Ready for the next case?
Next one. Wait a minute, when we need one voting member this time. So, Lisa, you will not vote for this one.
Okay.
And you will stay on. Yep.
Case number 715-2026-2, request for a variance from LZO 7.5.c.1 to allow a 15-foot high freestanding sign, whereas the maximum permitted sign height in the C2 zoning district is 10 feet. The property is located at 201 Rockingham Road, tax map 15, lot 68. Lawn Rock Realty LLC owner, Viewpoint Sign and Awning applicant.
Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Jason Perillo with Viewpoint Sign and Awning this evening. My address is 1001 Edgell Road, Framingham, Mass. So we have a pretty straightforward petition before you. This is to allow Dunkin' Donuts to raise their existing monument sign to 15 feet high. There's no proposed change in the size or the type of sign it is. It's simply to raise it up so that the location can be more visible and that the sign can be seen better for vehicular traffic. I can get into the questions and answers if you'd like me to do that.
It's up to you whether you want to
Okay,
do the
yeah, because I
5
think that
points
they
of law.
kind of addressed, the petition
Yep.
in general. So question one, the variance will not be contrary to the public interest. The existing monument sign at this location has visibility issues due to the topography of the surrounding area of 201 Rockingham Road. The proposed 15-foot high pylon sign will benefit the public by clearly identifying the restaurant and its road entrance. Number two, the spirit of the ordinance is observed. The sign dimensions are not increasing. The variance request is to install the new sign at 15 foot high, where 10 foot is the maximum height allowed. Number three, substantial justice is done. The proposed change to this sign will increase safety for the public by reducing traffic issues because the existing monument sign has visibility issues. Number four, the value of surrounding properties are not diminished. The changes to this Dunkin' Donuts sign will have no adverse effect on surrounding properties. Number five, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in an unnecessary hardship. Subsection 1, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purposes of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. So the answer to that is the hardship in this particular case is due to the unique positioning of this property on Rockingham Road. Traffic approaching from the west do not see the property or the sign until completing a curve in the road and often do not have time to see the restaurant and its entrance in a timely manner. Subsection 2, the proposed use is a reasonable one. There is no increase into the size of the sign, only increase in the overall height of the sign.
Any questions from board members?
I have a couple. So this is the airport district. So the,
No,
that
No.
seems to be what's.
no, this is
No.
28, on Route 28.
Across from the faves.
No, I know where it is. It seemed like the 7.5, what was the code? 7.5, trying to think.
So on here, it's 7.5.C.1.
Oh, okay. I thought it was 7.5.C.
15 feet is
Did I read the wrong one? Then I'll withdraw my question. I'll look back on it then. Oh, it does say airport district though. Sign height. No sign other than those specified in section 7.6 D6 shall exceed. Or is that just saying outside the airport district? I see.
I have a couple of, oh, sorry.
Let me ask one other question. What's the current height of the sign? Because I did drive by it.
Okay, the actual sign is 4 foot high, but you know, it's on the ground, yeah. And it's even got some bushes that kind of obscure it a little bit. It's probably a little bit higher than that because it is on these pillars that are set up above the ground. So I'd say, you know, it's probably on one side it might be a little different than the other. It's probably somewhere between 5 and 6 feet off the ground right now, total.
So is that the where do we measure? The bottom or the top of the sign?
Top of the sign.
Top.
So you're saying 5-6 feet currently top?
Yeah,
And you want to go up to 15?
we want to go to 15, yes.
Yes.
I had that similar question, and I guess, is there any reason it can't be raised to the 10 feet and cut bushes for visibility?
We did, you know, we didn't put up like, you know, a sample sign or anything like that, but the feeling was that the 10 feet wasn't really going to give it that same enough visibility, especially when you're traveling west, because if you're completing a curve, you're going down a hill, you don't see the sign until you're literally on top of the property. So that's why we wanted to go with the 15 feet, to just ensure that it's visible.
And that's sort of the mock-up of
Yeah.
the 15 versus.
Yeah, that's looking obviously east. I submitted some pictures of the application that show.
Yep, we have them. Suzanne?
So this is a replacement for the existing sign?
Yes,
Okay.
same size.
I can tell you that the speed limit is 40 there, that's low. Yeah. I can attest to you need a better sign there.
That is a very busy road.
Yep, and they,
Nobody goes 40.
that's correct.
They always go faster. And I have seen more people cut people off and almost cause an accident because there's Dunkin's and
Yeah.
they swerve in there.
Yeah,
It's an issue.
it's an issue.
That road is really, really fast.
Yep.
Yeah.
One more, I have a question. The current sign, is it lit?
Yeah,
And will the new sign be lit?
yeah, it's going to be the same exact sign, same type of illumination, same construction, just higher.
Thank you.
Actually, you're gonna have a more current sign. It'll be a cleaner logo.
Yeah,
Less
they're
messy.
Dunkin' now. That's not just Dunkin' Donuts anymore.
Yep, yep, it's gonna be cleaner.
Is the intent to get rid of, like, what I see, I assume the one on the right is the current with all the brickwork, and it looks like the one on the left, that's gone. It's been
Yeah,
removed.
it's just a pole. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Anything else? Okay, and we have our dimensions in our packets. Anyone have any question on the dimensions of the actual sign? We good?
No.
Okay. I'd like to bring it out to the public. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant, please approach. Let the record show there is no one. Anyone in opposition that would like to speak?
There is a letter in opposition.
Please read it into the record.
Public comment opposing sign height variance. Duncan, 201 Rockingham Road, case number 715, 2026-2. Submitted by Cheryl Waite. Standing, owner of 200 Rockingham Road, resident of 57 Noyes Road, Londonderry. To the members of the Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment, I respectfully oppose the request to increase the freestanding sign from the permitted 10 feet to approximately 15 feet. I own 200 Rockingham Road, located a short distance beyond the Duncan entrance, and I live nearby at 57 Noyes Road. I therefore observe this area both as a nearby property owner and as a residential neighbor. The application states that the additional height is intended to improve visibility and reduce missed turns. Based on my observations, the extra 5 feet is not necessary and is unlikely to produce a meaningful traffic benefit. Central concern: raising the sign is more likely to increase its visibility to nearby buildings and residences than to help customers at the exact point where they must enter the turn lane. 1. Traffic conditions do not justify a taller sign. I occasionally see a driver miss the Duncan entrance, continue a short distance, and use my driveway to turn around. This does happen, but not often enough to demonstrate a substantial or continuing traffic problem. Drivers miss entrances for many reasons, including lane position, speed, navigation instructions, unfamiliarity with the area, or deciding to turn too late. Adding 5 feet to a sign will not eliminate those behaviors. The added height will not change the entrance location, the designated turn lane, traffic speed, roadway geometry, or the point at which a driver must safely begin the turn. Important existing conditions. Rockingham Road is an established commuter route. Duncan is an established business with a nationally recognized name and logo. The site already has an entrance, a turn lane, existing identification, and online navigation. Many customers are regular or repeat customers who already know the location. If traffic safety is being offered as the reason for the variance, the applicant should provide objective evidence showing the frequency and cause of missed turns and explaining why a compliant sign cannot adequately identify the entrance. 2. A taller sign may create more off-site impact than customer benefit. In my view, a 15-foot sign would be seen more prominently by nearby buildings, homes, and residential streets than by motorists at the exact moment they must safely enter the turn lane. A driver who is already too close to the entrance to turn safely should continue and turn around at an appropriate location. A taller sign does not change that basic traffic reality. A larger, brighter, and more elevated sign may also add another visual element competing for attention along an already busy roadway. 3. Lighting and residential impact. The proposed sign is internally illuminated. Raising it to approximately 15 feet would increase its visibility from a greater distance and from more surrounding properties, including nearby homes and Noyes Road. The board should consider brightness, glare, hours of operation, automatic dimming, and light spill beyond the Duncan property. Existing lighting concerns in the area. Nearby residents are already experiencing commercial lighting impacts. Concerns have been raised about brightness and spillover from the Circle T car wash property. To my knowledge, those concerns have not yet been fully corrected or resolved by the town. That separate situation demonstrates why the town should proceed cautiously before approving additional illuminated signage that could compound existing conditions. Residential owners should be able to peacefully use and enjoy their homes and yards without an increasing accumulation of commercial glare and light intrusion. Before granting additional relief, the town should ensure that existing lighting concerns are investigated and corrected and that new approvals will not add to those impacts. 4. Community character and cumulative commercial impact. This corridor already reflects the cumulative effects of growth, increased traffic, commercial lighting, signage, pavement, larger buildings, and visual clutter. The request should not be viewed as only 5 additional feet on one sign. Each variance contributes to the overall appearance of the area and may encourage similar requests from other businesses. If greater visibility alone is sufficient to exceed the ordinance, the 10-foot limit will gradually lose its meaning. Businesses should be expected to work within adopted sign standards whenever a compliant design can reasonably identify the property. 5. No unnecessary hardship has been shown. Denial of this variance would not prevent Duncan from continuing to operate. The business already has a recognized brand, established customer base, existing signage, a visible location, an established driveway and turn lane, and the ability to install a replacement sign that complies with the ordinance. The request appears to seek greater advertising prominence rather than relief from a unique hardship related to the land. The board should require evidence showing what specific property condition makes a compliant 10-foot sign unreasonable, why 15 feet is the minimum relief necessary, why the claimed hardship relates to the land rather than the preference for greater visibility, and what compliant alternatives were considered, such as clearer lettering, stronger contrast, a simpler sign face, building-mounted identification, entrance markings, alternative placement, or lower intensity illumination. Requested action. For these reasons, I respectfully request that the Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment deny the requested sign height variance and require the applicant to design and install a sign that complies with the town's current ordinance. The occasional misturn does not justify increasing the permitted sign height by 50%. The additional height is more likely to increase the sign's visibility to surrounding buildings and residences than to provide a meaningful traffic benefit. The applicant has not demonstrated that the property cannot be reasonably used with a compliant sign, or that the added lighting and visual impact are consistent with the public interest and the spirit of the ordinance. Please enter this letter into the official public record for case number 715-2026-2. Provide a copy to each member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment for the hearing and confirm receipt by email. Sincerely, Cheryl Waite, owner, 200 Rockingham Road, resident, 57 Noyes Road.
Thank you. Is there anyone that is here tonight that would like to speak in opposition? Please come forward. Let the record show there is no one. Any other questions from the board? Okay, I have a question for you. Your current sign is lit. Does that current sign go off after hours? Is it dimmed or turned off?
It can definitely be turned off after hours, definitely.
What are the hours of that, Duncan's? Do you know roughly?
I don't,
Okay, it's not a 24/7.
no.
Okay.
And I'd also just add that we put dimmers on all our signs now. So if for some reason that sign is seen as being too bright, we can tone down the brightness. And it's exactly the same type of sign as the one that's there now. So it's not gonna have any additional illumination impact.
Okay. But you could speak for the possibility that when this Dunkin's is not open, that the sign could be dimmed to a very, if not turned off, dimmed to a
Sure.
very dull?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right. Anybody have any other questions?
No.
Okay. Is there any way for you to find out what that Dunkin's, what their hours are? Would you make a call?
Google it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's Google it.
Can someone do that? See if we can get the hours?
Appreciate it.
Because I don't want any
Yeah,
misunderstanding when we vote.
exactly.
Okay? We have clean records here. We don't want to
Sure.
have any misunderstanding.
Can I bug Nick again?
Yeah.
Like I like to?
Yeah.
Nick, how, when I drive that road, it's very commercial
Okay.
to me. I don't live right near there. How close are the residential homes to that, Duncan's? Do you have I always think you know a lot more about the town than me. Are they very close?
Very close.
They are.
There are a couple of houses further up, yeah.
All right, so for the record, this Dunkin' Donuts is open 7 days a week, starting at 4 a.m. is the earliest, but they always close at 8 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, so 4 to 8. All right, any other questions? Okay, I'm gonna close the public portion of this hearing. Do we bring it to the board now? Do we have anything we have to hash out, or we good? Any questions before we vote? We're good? Okay, let's do it.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because
I would say would not.
I agree.
I'd say that it's
For
not
the-
al- Not
yeah.
altering the character of the neighborhood. It is a.
I would agree.
I agree.
Highly trafficked
Right.
commercial property.
Agreed.
Spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because I think it would. I just don't see the threat to health, safety, or the general welfare.
I agree with you, because the way that it is now, there's more of a safety issue.
Yeah, you see the sign when you turn in.
Holy
Plus, they
cow.
made that stop sign now, which could be safer. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
There's a lot going on right there,
Yeah.
so I agree with you. Do we all agree?
Yes.
Yes.
granted the variance would or would not do substantial justice because I think it would. I think the loss to the applicant's greater than any gain to the public.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. You know, part of that is a 5-foot difference. I don't know that really
Right.
matters a whole lot either.
Agreed.
For the following reasons, the values of surrounding properties would or would not be diminished. I would say would not.
Right.
I
It's
would
a
agree.
commercial area.
I agree with that.
Agreed.
Owing to special conditions to the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property because
I would say is not.
I agree.
So the unique positioning of the property on Rockingham Road, we come up on it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree.
See, I do have a little bit of a different take on that provision. I just think, you know, so far as the need for the variance, one of the specific questions that was asked was whether or not the opportunity was explored to create a sign within 10 feet, because this is only like 5 or 6 feet off of the ground. And I think, you know, Ms. Waite's letter is evidence for the board's consideration in that, you know, nearby residents, she's, you know, experiencing direct potential impacts of visual cluster and things of that nature. When I'm looking at this picture, I'm very familiar with this Dunkin' Donuts. It is near my house. There is no hill in front of this area. It's kind of a straightaway. I agree. It can get, you know, clustered and congested. But there is record evidence from the abutter directly that says that it's not that bad of a problem, and I think she would be, you know, qualified to speak to that. I think one of the things that, to me, it seems almost like a self-created hardship issue with visibility. There's a bunch of brush around this bush right now too.
That's true.
I would wonder what it would look like if the brush was cleared and there was a sign that wasn't 15 feet but 10 feet, if this pole was not as high or something like that. Have there been other options, you know, explored? There's a number of businesses along Rockingham Road, but this property, there's no evidence to support that it's uniquely situated from other properties in the area. In fact, I feel like the sign could even be moved on the other side of this entryway if that were, you know, if it was a topography issue. But I would just say that I'm not sure that the record establishes that there really is unique circumstances to this property or alternatives that have been explored to make the sign in compliance with the variance request.
So you are in opposition?
I
You
think
do not agree? Okay, so
unfortunately.
I agree. Suzanne, you agree?
I agree.
I agree.
You agree?
I
And
agree.
Mitch, you agree? Okay, so we have 4 in agreement and we have 1 opposition, okay?
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because signs are reasonable.
I would agree.
Agree?
Agreed.
Okay, comments, restrictions.
All right, we established that, and the applicant did testify that the, sign could be, turned off, when not in operation at this location. So it has been determined that this, location is open from 4 AM, the earliest, till 8 PM, 7 days a week, and that's directly on their website, just for the record, so that, we know where we got this information. I would like to see if the rest of you would like to put a condition that the sign only be illuminated during business hours
That's fine with me.
of 4 to 8.
I would actually say while they're open, because it may not necessarily always be 4 to 8, but I don't know if they're able to do that.
Bring up a good point. They're not 24 now. What's to say they're not gonna be 24 later?
Correct.
And then they have to have the sign off. and the
Well, we
sign
could
doesn't
limit it
open.
to 8 PM, but I'm actually more concerned.
Actually, I like the language. You're right. The language is better during operating hours.
But not to exceed.
Not to, we go down a slippery slope because we can't dictate when they conduct business.
Sure you can. Put a restriction on when the sign's gonna be lit.
Well, when the sign's gonna be lit, right.
I like putting a time limit on the sign, but I think that balances things.
I'm less concerned about the 8 PM as the 4 AM.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I
we
think
can
for
restrict
safety
it.
reasons, if you're trying to get people in there, it needs to be lit.
Yeah.
I mean, business hours, but no later than time?
No later than, what?
No earlier than 4 AM, no later than 8 PM?
Yeah.
I like that. And if they shorten their business hours.
Yeah.
then,
Okay.
Yeah.
Or is there any argument for saying that it has to be dimmed down between,
Well, that's what we're trying to distinguish
Not
this
off,
language
but-
right now.
but dimmer, you know?
You mean like after dawn, after dusk?
After
so
dusk.
Before dawn.
Which is that's a
So
tricky time, but,
dimmer, less luminous is subjective.
mm-hmm,
So I don't know how many looms the dimming would come to.
yeah.
You could throw it back out and ask what the standard currently is.
I couldn't attest to that.
Okay.
So we could say that, you know, it is substantially dimmer. I mean, we have to be careful because I can't,
So what I've got, and you tell me if this is a problem. The sign shall be illuminated only during operating hours, but no earlier than 4 AM and no later than 8 PM. So then that gets both, I think it catches both
I
conditions.
think that's okay. I mean,
Can you just read the beginning again?
The sign shall be illuminated only during operating hours, but no earlier than 4 AM and no later than 8
how about May instead of shall?
May, that's fine.
No, I like
If they don't want to illuminate it, I'm good.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Then May only is what you need.
May only be illuminated, yep, that's even better.
Yeah. Takes a lot of people.
The sign may only be illuminated during operating hours, but no earlier than 4 AM and no later than 8 PM.
It's a lot of lawyering, but yes,
I like it.
that's what
So-
we do.
a lot of legalese.
No legally,
All right, are we good with that?
Okay.
All right, do we have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion in case number 715, 2026-2, to grant the request for a variance with the condition that the sign may only be illuminated during operating hours, but no earlier than 4 AM and no later than 8 PM.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Suzanne. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
I,
Okay.
Again.
In case number 715, 2026-2, the request for variance was granted with the condition that the sign may only be illuminated during operating hours, but no earlier than 4 AM and no later than 8 PM.
Okay,
Have a great evening.
great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're out again. Okay. So, Lisa, you are back up as a voting member.
Thank you.
So, 4 and 5, okay. 4 and 5 are the same property.
Yes.
Oh, wait a minute.
No. We weren't seeing that.
Three.
yeah.
No, not
3
yet.
and 4 are the same property, I apologize.
Three,
No, that's
three,
not
4,
right.
and 5
No,
are.
no,
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 three is
no. 3 is alone.
Three's alone.
Yeah.
You're right.
3 is alone, I apologize.
It's 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
reading 3 and 4 together. So case number 715, 2026-3, request for a special exception for a home occupation massage therapy pursuant to LZO 5.12.4.a to the AR1 zoning district. The property is located at 254 Mammoth Road, tax map 6, lot 20. Brian Hanlon, owner. Jennifer Carlisle, applicant.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Please state your name and address for the record.
My name is Jennifer Carlisle, and I am also a resident at 254 Mammoth Road here in Londonderry.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about, because this is a special exception.
Correct.
So, we don't have the same protocol that you've seen for the first two cases.
Okay.
So would you like to tell us about, what it is that you would like to do there for this home occupation?
Okay, what it is that I I was under the assumption that this had already been taken care of. There is a piece of the there is a room within the property that Mr. Hanlon and I made an agreement with when I lost my rental space at a salon that had closed, so that I could see clients privately. It takes up a very small portion of the house. It takes up I think it's like 5% of the house. Yeah, it takes up 5% of the house. It's in a small corner on the street level. The only thing we had was just a tiny sign on the building itself. And it seemed that the problem was that there was, it was a question of parking. This property, prior to Mr. Hanlon purchasing it, was actually owned by the Smiths, and they had two commercial businesses on the property. And I believe there was a picture that I did send in that shows a picture of the property from across the street, which is actually the town forest, that shows that there is a circular driveway as part of this property, which means there is plenty of space for not only residents, but for the one client at a time that I see on any given day. And so we are simply looking to get the special exception so that there is no, so it's completely clear between us and the town that it is okay for me to have clients parking on the property for the length of their session, which is no more than an hour and a half, no less than a half an hour.
Okay. Do you have in the record what this property was actually zoned for, permitted in that?
It's zoned as R1,
Yeah, it is-
AR1.
It's an AR1.
Is
I
there
don't have any.
previous zoning?
The previous zoning, it was actually a commercial previously.
I don't have
Nick, can you verify that? Because we have nothing in our packet back here. If that really is,
Used to be a preschool
Yeah, it used to be a preschool.
Winnie's-
Winnie's Creative Kindergarten.
For the kindergarten.
okay. Okay. Any questions from the board?
I had one question. Do you live at the property as well?
I do.
I have a question. Are you an owner or a tenant at that property?
Okay, that gets complicated. Mr. Hanlon and I have a longstanding relationship, which is not acknowledged in the state of New Hampshire because it's common law. However, technically, the property is his. It is now officially under his trust, of which I am a trustee.
Okay.
And while I reside at the property, I have one room that I reside in and one room that I work in.
So your name is not on the deed?
Not anymore. We have just recently put it officially into his trust.
And you're a trustee of the trust?
Correct.
And that's where my lawyering ends.
I am a trustee on his trust. I am also the executor of his estate
Okay,
when he passes.
okay.
If you need that information, I can provide it. I did not bring it with me tonight. I did not think
That's
that
not,
was going to
that's
come
not
up.
necessary.
We do have a letter from Mr. Hanlon as well.
Would you like to read that into the record now?
Sure. July 13th, 2026, Zoning Board of Adjustment, Town of Londonderry, New Hampshire, to whom it may concern. Ms. Carlisle has my permission to represent me at this meeting of the Zoning Board. The previous owners of 254 Mammoth Road in Londonderry, Brad and Winnie Smith, had two large commercial businesses running on the property, a welding/sheet metal shop and a full-day kindergarten. I figured Ms. Carlisle having a room to work out of and an address to receive mail at as compensation for her time spent caring for me, helping with my doctor's visits and medications, personal care, etc., wouldn't be a problem. It neither generates significant traffic nor creates any disturbance in the area. She's invaluable to my well-being, especially during the months-long depressive episodes that happen. She will literally get me out of bed and make sure I eat because I'm debilitated. She's my rock during these times. Please allow me to have the help I need to live with my life with dignity. I'm 65 years old, disabled, and struggle with brain fog related to my health conditions. Ms. Carlisle is my caregiver. It's my constitutional right as a citizen of the state of New Hampshire and of the United States of America. Thank you for your time, Brian Hanlon.
Thank you. Do you have any other questions, Lisa?
No.
Okay. Anybody else?
I do not.
Okay, so in my packet, or in all of our packets back here, let me just read what you have expressed. This is a part-time massage therapy practice. Average of 15 hours per week. No more than 5 clients per day. Standard hours of operation, Monday or Wednesday at 12 p.m., Tuesday and or Friday afternoons, Thursday 8 a.m. to 7 p.m., and every other weekend between 8 to 5. Optional Monday afternoon or Friday morning on a holiday weekend if a working weekend. There will be minimal deliveries and traffic created. Is that still the same?
Yes.
Okay. And do you have any employees?
No.
Only you?
Correct.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant would like to approach? Let the record show no one. Anyone in opposition? Let the record also state that there is no one. So let's do the
Sure.
questionnaire.
The activities associated with home occupation shall not detract from the rural character of the residential neighborhood, nor shall they create traffic, environmental, or aesthetic impacts substantially different than impacts created by other permitted uses in the neighborhood. She has said they will not. I agree.
I do.
I agree.
Agree.
The home occupation shall be incidental and secondary to use of the property as a residential dwelling. She has says it is. I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
Home occupations shall be permitted only in single-family or two-family dwelling units and are not permitted in multifamily dwelling units. She has indicated it is a single-family or two-family dwelling. I agree.
I agree.
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 The home occupation shall occupy no more than 25% of the existing normal living area of the primary residence, or if the home occupation is conducted in an accessory building, no more than 50% of the existing normal living area of the primary residence. Up to a maximum of 1,000 square feet may be dedicated to the home occupation. She has indicated that 144 square feet of 2,800 square feet is used. I agree.
I agree.
Agree.
Only members of the occupant's immediate family residing on the property may be employed. She has said that is yes. I agree.
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 No exterior renovations or construction shall be permitted as part of a home occupation. She has indicated there won't be. I agree.
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 Exterior storage of any products, equipment, machinery, or material associated with the home occupation is prohibited. She said there will not be. I agree.
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 As well.
Traffic generated by the home occupation shall not create safety hazards or be substantially greater in volume than we normally expect in the neighborhood. She has said there will not be. I agree.
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 The off-street parking shall be adequate for anticipated customers, although no parking area in excess of those necessary for normal residential purposes will be allowed. She has indicated that that is correct. I agree.
Agree.
I agree as
Agree.
well.
All home occupations shall be conducted in accordance with all town regulations, state laws, and licensing requirements. She has said yes. I agree.
Agree.
I would
Agree.
Sign. She has requested one exterior wall sign, 13 inches by 19 inches. The sign is not illuminated, and the sign does not exceed 3 square feet per side.
Sign does
It
not
doesn't.
exceed 3 square feet per side.
That
Okay.
works.
All right. I agree.
I agree. Hours of operation. So, the standard hours of operation that she's listed,
Standard hours of operation are either Monday or Wednesday at 12 p.m., Tuesday and or Friday
So-
afternoons.
It's closed.
Okay.
I appreciate that, but what I'm thinking is, then rather than having me potentially make a mistake in copying it,
Correct.
we take what she has provided, mark it as Exhibit A. and
Exhibit A.
indicate that
Thank
it is
you.
Exhibit A.
Yeah.
Can I just say something amongst us?
Yes.
Monday or Wednesday at 12 p.m., but it doesn't have an end time, or am I missing it?
Sessions are no longer than
So her first stipulation is there's an average of 15 hours per week.
Right.
So that's what we go by. If she has no clients on Tuesday or Friday, but she happens to have a client on Monday or Wednesday from noontime till 5 p.m., because between 8 and 5 p.m.
Well, that's the question I have. I
That's
think-
every other
Yeah,
weekend.
That's every other
so it's
weekend,
Thurs-
but
So, yeah, so the question would be, what is the end time for Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Friday?
oh, good Lord.
Because, yeah, Mitch is right, it's Monday or Wednesday at 12 PM, Tuesday and or Friday afternoons, but there's no end time.
Yeah.
So those all start at noon. But they
So,
don't end.
but Thursday is 8 to 7 p.m.
Right.
And then on the week, every other weekend, it's 8 a.m. to
5.
5, so she goes no later than 7 p.m.
Yeah, so I think we should, we probably just need to confirm on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, what is the latest appointment? What is the
Well-
latest that an appointment could go?
But she could operate from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. and has an average of 15 hours per week.
Right. But the average isn't a limit,
Correct.
so,
Thursdays alone are 11 hours.
yeah.
Correct.
Available, right.
Wouldn't it make sense to limit the business to no more than 15 hours per week, but to be no later than a certain end time if we're concerned about the
We-
later
We
hour?
could,
Something like that.
we
I
could
just
do
stressed
something like that
it.
as well.
Yeah, that's the question I have, because we can put conditions, I just don't know if we can
Correct.
condition the hours like that.
That tight, because she's by herself.
Right,
She's not, it's not a Monday through Friday or even a 7-day a week. It's not always starting at 8 o'clock in the morning. So
Cool.
it's whether or not she has clients.
right. Could we ask her, though, on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, since all of those are noon and on, could we ask her what the end time is for that? And then
I
we-
will reopen up
Yeah,
to
because-
ask the applicant, what is the latest you would work on?
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Friday?
I never work past 7 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we say hours of operation as reflected in Exhibit A, and on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, not to go past 7 PM.
Shall not exceed
Shall not exceed,
Yeah.
yeah.
the hour of 7 p.m.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Comments, restriction.
And the sign was not illuminated, correct?
The sign was not illuminated, yes.
Okay.
So-
All right, I have no,
I don't either.
I don't, none. Okay.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to grant the request for a special exception in case number 715-2026-3.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. You're all
Thank
set,
you.
ma'am. If you have
Thank
any
you.
questions, you can always ask the office, but
Okay.
I think we covered it for you.
Yeah, I think you did.
Okay.
Is there some sort of a letter or something?
No, you're all set.
I'm all set?
It's on the
Okay.
record.
All right, thank you.
Take care.
You ready for 4?
Let's do it. Does anybody need a break? I'm good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Case number 715-2026-4, request for a special exception for a portable storage container pursuant to LZO 5.15.1 in the AR1 zoning district. The property is located at 131 High Range Road, tax map 6, lot 5-1, Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White, owner/applicant.
Good evening. Welcome. Have you done this before?
No.
Okay. Did you bring your form with you, what you filled out?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to tell us about this request for a special exception?
Special exception was asked. We were asked to fill in a special exception due to a second variance we have filed as well.
You have 3 for this,
yes.
so we have to address each one separately.
Okay.
So the first one that we'll address, you can tell us about this structure. And then
Storage container.
the storage container, not
It's
a
the
structure,
first
but the storage container. And then if we get to the next one and then the next one, we'll guide you through that. So
Okay.
we'll stay narrowly focused on this one first.
All right.
So tell us about this container.
This is the first one.
This is number one, yep.
The first container is 8 foot wide by 20 foot container. I use it for general storage for some snow and ice, tooling, shoveling, snow raiders, stuff of that aspect.
So this is a, this is the first container on your site?
Yes.
What's the container made of?
It's a steel shipping container.
It's steel? Okay.
Yes.
Is it on blocks?
Yes.
And you said it was 8 feet by 20?
8 feet wide, 20 feet long.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said it is going to have snow raiders and snow blowers. Is
Yes.
this is for commercial use?
Just storage.
So this is a residential, like just your house snow blower, like what?
Well, I run I actually own and run a snow and ice business, and
Okay.
in the off season, there's certain equipment that it's all commercial work that I do. Nothing is actually done out of the house or the property itself at 131 High Range Road. This is just essentially summertime storage for 6 to 7 months of accessory equipment.
Okay, does any of this accessory equipment contain gasoline?
There would be 2 things in the container that would contain gasoline, yes.
Batteries?
Yes, the same 2
Okay.
units.
Any small, engine type riding apparatuses?
Yes, the same 2
Okay.
units.
Does anybody else have any questions?
Do you store any chemicals or salt or?
No chemicals, no salt, anything like that. It's all basically hand tools, shovels, stuff of that matter.
Any other questions?
Height on the, so we got feet wide, 20 feet long, how?
The container is 8 foot 6 inch high.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anybody?
There are letters.
Okay.
So Mark J. Greenwood from 133 High Range Road, July 12th, 2026. The Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment. Dear members of the Zoning Board of Adjustment, I am the owner of 133 High Range Road in Londonderry and am budding neighbor to 131 High Range Road. I am writing to express my support for the variance request submitted by Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White for their property at 131 High Range Road. I understand that they are seeking variances to allow a temporary shipping container for secure storage of snow removal equipment, and related outdoor storage associated with the equipment. Based on my understanding of their plans, I do not believe these requests will negatively affect the neighborhood. I appreciate their commitment to keeping the property neat and orderly and believe the proposed use will remain compatible with the surrounding residential area. For these reasons, I have no objection to the requested variances and respectfully ask that the board give their application favorable consideration. Thank you, sincerely, Mark J. Greenwood. And then there are 2 others. So this is a letter that was written, there were 2 letters that were written to neighbors, and then the neighbors signed them, so I'll read them. I'll read the letter and then what the neighbors signed. So this one is to Dear Peter. We hope you are doing well. We are writing to let you know that we have submitted an application to the Londonderry Zoning Board of Adjustment requesting 3 variances for our property at 131 High Range Road. The variances we are seeking relate to a temporary 10-foot portable container for general storage, an additional temporary 20-foot by 8-foot portable storage container for secure storage of snow removal tools and equipment such as shovels, snow raiders, etc., related outdoor storage associated with the snow removal equipment and machines. We value being good neighbors and want to ensure that you are fully informed about our application. Our intention is to keep the property neat, well-maintained, and compatible with the surrounding residential neighborhood. If, after reviewing these requests, you are comfortable with and supportive of our application, we would greatly appreciate your signature below indicating that you have no objection to the requested variances. Your signature is entirely voluntary and would simply demonstrate your support to the zoning board. Please feel free to contact either of us if you have any questions or would like to discuss the matter further. Thank you for taking the time to consider our request, and we appreciate your kindness and neighborly support. Sincerely, Nathan Stiller, Jacqueline White. The neighbor acknowledgement form says, I, Peter Norton, owner of 116 High Range Road, have reviewed the variance request submitted by Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White for 131 High Range Road. I have no objection to the requested variances as described above, and Peter Norton signed it on July 14, 2026. The same letter was sent to Yvette and Donna Hicks, and the neighbor acknowledgement reads, I, Yvette and Donna Hicks, owner of 123 High Range Road, have reviewed the variance request submitted by Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White for 131 High Range Road. I have no objection to the requested variances as described above. Signature, it looks like it's Donna L. Hicks who signed it on July 14th, 2026.
Is there anyone else that would like to ask any questions of the applicant?
We have a lot in our packet on those
Yes.
pictures, and I'm not sure. We have pictures of containers, we have cleared property with markings. I don't know what any of that is. I mean, I get the pictures of the containers, but
So,
propane
Nick-
line,
yeah.
a setback, a 15-foot setback, a 30-foot setback.
Nick
Why are
has
we
the-
concerned about that for this case? Because this case is just whether they can have a storage container.
we're addressing, yeah, the storage container. Where's storage container gonna be placed? Maybe that's what the picture's depicting.
Yes, so the map, we kind of submitted the photos in the map as to an oversight of all three variances. The storage container, the 20-foot container is currently behind the house, and we plan on putting that in the area to the back left of the property that shows on the map, right there.
Right there.
In the area that I plan on clearing out some trees and moving it from behind the house and putting it there. The smaller container that you saw the pictures of a second ago, it's a 10-foot by 7 wide, and it's 8 feet tall.
So we only wanna talk about
sorry.
the, yeah, about the first one, which is 8 feet by 20.
The 20-footer.
Yeah. So there's the property. So you have this 8 foot by 20 in the backyard,
Correct.
and you're gonna be moving it to the front.
I would be moving it to the farther back left corner of the property.
Okay. So
More.
in that picture, when I look and I see the house, to the left, we have that, couple stall garage.
Correct.
So you're gonna be parking that container to that side.
It would, yes, it would be on the left side of that same 3-bay garage, and it would be in the very back corner.
In the back of that, okay.
Yes, very far back.
There is a map in there as well that shows the
There is a lot on the map.
geographic abutting. So it's in that back corner where that kind of triangular is behind the natural tree line.
Yes, right there.
That's where
right
it's
there.
located now.
No, that is where I plan on placing
Oh,
it.
that's where you plan on
It is
placing it, okay.
located, if you see where the picture of the pool that is on there,
Yes.
and the pool is actually no longer on the property, but
Okay.
it's somehow it keeps showing up on the geomaps. It's to the north side of the pool there. It's got a little box that we put it in there. That's where it currently sits now.
Okay. And this previously was an automotive repair shop.
Yes.
Yep, okay, and you just recently purchased that?
Yeah, we just purchased it.
Okay.
May 18th.
Yeah, May 18th. yeah.
Okay, do you, all of you understand that?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yep.
Anything else? So in this special exception, you have questions that you have to answer. And number 5 states nuisance created by way of emission of odors, smoke, gas, dust, noise, glare, heat, other pollutants, unsightly outdoor storage of equipment, vehicles, or other materials. You stated no on your application, but there will be some of that in there.
Only when it leaves to go to its designated sites, designated parking lots that it is in.
But it will be stored there when it is not needed for snow removal. So it'll be stored there for a good amount of time.
Yeah, a few months, yes.
Yeah. Okay? Does everybody understand that?
Sure, but, right, the concern is the emission of odors, gas, and dust. I don't,
Yeah, nothing would be
Or-
running inside or anything
but
like
the
that.
concern is the ongoing.
So that's equipment.
You know, it's interesting if it was for his home use, so if he was storing his mower.
Correct. This is commercial.
No, I know, but if, five would still apply, right? And would we
Five.
not allow someone to store a mower with, or their own snow blower with those things? I'm trying to figure out if that would be okay, and if that's okay, then I don't know why it wouldn't be.
So an average homeowner may not have several snow blowers and
Sure.
several gasoline cans and several
Okay.
pieces of small equipment that it's gonna be, it's not a homeowner's use. So we just have to establish, because what the applicant is putting on, and answering on this special exception, will be read, and that's what we have to make sure that we understand what's going on here. So on, the last question, how long will the structure remain on the property? So you've indicated that it's 2 to 5 years until a permanent structure can be built. So that's your intention later on.
Yeah, my intention down the road would be eventually to get the approval from the town to build a sort of say pole barn of whatever size could be possibly granted, and
Okay.
eventually remove the container from the property and completely get rid of it and be able to store the stuff in a actual enclosed larger structure, actual garage in a
Okay, so
sense.
this is more or less like a short-term solution to
Correct.
a problem, and you have a plan in place for later
Correct.
on. Nick, if this is granted, we haven't put language about sunsetting or any conditions yet. Should they construct such a permanent building, could there, I don't want if we agree on it, that the storage container's there still, and then we have a garage and we have this container still there. We haven't written the sunset rules in a long time. Do you advise, because I don't know who looks at that, who monitors that?
It does.
Yeah.
Nick does. So if, if we did say, even if after we go through the discussion here, if we did the latest, the 5-year date, is that even
You mean
feasible?
How it would be enforced.
Yeah,
Well, we have done this before.
we have done it, but we
10
haven't done it in
years
a
is-
very long
10
time.
No, 10 years is what we typically put on. For people that are using it for home storage.
Home occupant,
Yes,
yeah, not commercial.
I don't know that we've ever done commercial.
Yeah.
We have,
We have.
okay.
We have. All right, so that is feasible if we write sunset.
I believe so,
conditions.
yes.
We're still, okay, all right.
I
Yeah.
don't know how it's different.
I just, we had been advised once, about the sunset, language, so.
Okay.
And I just brought it up. All right, well, that's good to know. All right, thank you. Any other questions we have before we go into the special exception? Okay. Are you good, Mitch? You look?
I was trying to think, out of curiosity, how much equipment would go into this? You know, like, am I envisioning 27 snow blowers filled with gas or 4? You know, like,
No, right, actually, as it sits right now, I won't lie. It has 3 snow blowers in it and a lot of hand shovels. And that is what stays in there, and that is it. And even if there was a cause of, you have to drain the fuel out of the equipment before it's stored, that's perfectly acceptable, and I completely, understand.
all right, I'm set.
All right. You ready, Brandon?
Yeah.
All right.
Is the use
Oh,
detrimental?
wait a minute. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant?
But one other thing. Did you appoint, I forgot where we are in numbers of people who are voting on this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Yep. Anyone would like to speak in favor of the applicant? Thank you. Please approach and state your name and address for the record.
I am Mark Greenwood. I live at 133 High Range Road. I am the north of Butter.
Okay?
And I wanted to come up and say I have absolutely no issue with what he is doing. I've lived at that property for 50 years. And he's been absolutely awesome neighbor, and he's doing an excellent job with what he's got going on there.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the applicant? Please approach and state your name and address for the record. I almost forgot.
Excuse me, I don't know if I'm allowed to. My name is Brad White. I'm Jacqueline's father. If I could just reiterate a couple of things, am I allowed to? In their behalf?
Sure.
Did you have an address?
Yeah, your address for the record.
407 South Street, Halifax, Mass.
Okay. And direct it to us, please.
They purchased the house, as you know, just recently in May. And they were told at that time that there was an automotive business there, and that was one of the reasons why they had purchased it, that he'd be able to put the stuff in there. Right off the get-go, he ordered 42 trees, arborvitaes, to put across the front, just to shade out the trucks and stuff that are coming down from the DPW, and to work both ways as a natural screening. And he has more that he was gonna put to the rear of the property. So that was ordered and done. They were only in there for a week and a half moving when the code enforcement officer came in. So when he says the container and stuff that he has now is out back, that's because when the code enforcement officer stopped in, he halted everything. That's why the 20-foot container is out there. So what they would like to do, as he stated, was put it to the rear of the property. But he didn't want to do anything without permission from the board. That's pretty much it. I understand, they're young, they get nervous, and, some of you might bite.
We don't. We just don't bite. We don't. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the applicant? Let the record show there is no one else. Anyone in opposition that would like to speak? Let the record show there is no opposition. All right, now we can go into it.
Okay. Is the use detrimental to the health or safety of residents? The answer is no. I agree with it.
I would agree.
Agree.
Will the use create undue traffic congestion or a traffic safety hazard in the vicinity of the proposed development? The answer in the application is no. I agree with that.
I agree.
Agree, and we all have to, make sure we all respond to this one.
Will the use be incompatible with the surrounding neighborhoods? They have said no. The only neighbors have said no, so I have no reason to disagree with it.
I agree.
I agree.
Agreed.
Will the use be a detriment to property values in the vicinity of the proposed development with consideration given to the location of or scale of building structures, parking areas, or other access ways? Again, there's been no evidence that it would, and they have said no, so I agree.
I agree.
Will a nuisance be created by such use by way of emission of odors, smoke, gas, dust, noise, glare, heat, vibration, or other pollutants, or the unsightly outdoor storage of equipment, vehicles, or other materials? They have said no. I don't think what they've proposed will create a nuisance as a result of any of that. So I agree with them.
I agree.
Will the use create a hazard to the public or adjacent property on account of potential fire, explosion, or release of toxic materials? They've said no. And again, I haven't seen anything to disagree with that, so I agree.
I agree.
Will the use result in the degradation of existing surface and groundwater quality standards or have adverse effects on the natural functions of wetlands on the site, which would result in the loss of a significant habitat or flood control protection? They have said no, I agree.
Agree?
Great.
Will there be more than one portable storage structure per property? So they have said yes, and the answer has to be no. And the problem is that they need a variance for the second one,
That,
which they've requested.
that is correct. So,
If we approve just the one, the answer is no,
Well, we
correct?
have to change the answer then, and then we'd have to go back out.
yeah, we have to go back out. So let me go back out
Are
to
there
the,
any other issues before we?
Yeah, what do we- That's a good point.
No, well, no, because starting at 10, the answers have to be yes. So we're okay on all the answers except that one. But they're, problem is they're kind of in a bind.
Well, do you want one?
Yeah, I mean, that's that's the thing.
yeah.
That's the thing. To,
I don't think they're in a bind. They can go yes
So-
here and get this one, and then they're gonna go for the variance. I don't think
you think the
saying.
timing is, you think that's okay if they do it that way?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think that that's better.
I
Treat
agree.
these all as separate.
Separate anyways, so
Yes.
I'm gonna bring it back out to the applicant. So, for the record, on number 8, will there be more than one portable storage structure per property? You answered yes, however, that is an incorrect answer for what you testified and what you gave us for information for this special exception. You answered incorrectly. Is your correct answer no to number 8? For this first special exception, this first case, you gotta stay focused only on this.
I would say no, it's not.
Okay, let the record show that we're gonna, number 8 shall be changed to no. The applicant has acknowledged they answered incorrectly.
Okay.
Close it now, thank you.
Will the portable storage structure be larger than 10 feet wide, 20 feet long, and 10 feet high? No, we were told it was 8 feet by 20 feet by 8 feet by 8 feet 6 inches.
I agree.
Is no.
Yes.
Will the portable storage structure be located to the side or rear of the principal structure on the property? Yes.
Agree?
Yep.
Will the portable storage structure be set back a minimum of 15 feet from any side or rear lot lines and 40 feet from any front prop lines? They said yes, and I believe their map is, or their drawing shows that as well.
I agree.
Will the portable storage structure be set back a minimum of 5 feet from the nearest wall or building? They said yes, I agree.
Agree?
Will the portable storage structure be placed on paved concrete or other appropriate impervious surfaces, or be placed on blocks? They have said yes.
And he testified to that.
You asked him.
If applicable, will adequate and appropriate facilities be provided for the intended use? They've said yes. That might
Agree.
not be applicable, but that's fine.
It's not applicable.
If applicable, will all necessary state and federal permits be obtained? Again, I don't know if that's applicable, but they've said yes.
I agree.
What is the length of time the portable storage structure will remain on the property? So they've said 2 to 5 years. So the question is, do we want to make it 5 years so they have more time to build the structure, or make them come back, which
I say we do the maximum,
I
which is
agree.
5 years.
I agree.
I agree.
Comments, restrictions.
So to adequately describe that, so 5 years from today's date?
5 years from July 15th, 2026.
Specify the size, since there seems to be a few different containers.
So,
This one was testified 8 feet by 20.
okay, this container. 8 feet
By
20
20.
feet by 8 feet 6 inches.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, do I have a motion?
So I'd like to make a motion to grant the request for a special exception with the condition that the container will be no larger than 8 feet by 20 feet by 8 feet 6 inches high.
And the time period for sunset?
Oh, that's in anyway, but 5 years from July 15th, 2026.
Thank you. And you're gonna second? Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. So this is approved for number 1. Let's do number 2 now.
Okay.
Okay, so for 131 High Range Road, the special exception was granted with the condition that the container will be no larger than 8 feet by 20 feet by 8 feet 6 inches high.
Yes.
Case number 715-2026-5, request for a variance from LZO 5.15.A.1 to allow an additional portable storage structure in the AR1 zoning district. The property is located at 131 High Range Road, tax map 6, lot 5-1, Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White, owner applicant.
Okay. State your name and address for the record. We'll start there.
Nathan Stiller, 131 High Range Road.
Jacqueline White, 131 High Range Road.
Thank you. Do we have previous zoning in your packet for this?
Doubtful.
I don't think we get that anymore.
Previous zoning board action on this property, yes, by previous owner. So, okay, you don't have any of that. Okay, so for the record, Nick, this was an approved automotive repair facility.
Yeah. The,
Thank you.
Previous owner got a variance for it.
Thank you. All right, so that's out of the way. Do you want to tell us about this container? How big is this container so we can identify it?
Yes, this second container is 10 foot deep, 7 foot wide, and it is 8 feet. I want to say this one was 3 inches high. It was a little bit shorter than the first one. It is currently located on the left side of the house to the right of the 3-bay garage.
Okay, to
Meets
the
all
right of the
yeah,
3-bay garage.
yep.
Okay.
Meets all the setbacks by multiple feet. On the map, it shows all the drawings.
And what will be in this container?
This container is strictly for shovels and more shovels.
Maybe a set of jumper cables.
Yeah, we kind of use this one more so for shovels and household stuff when we don't have room.
Okay, so this is a smaller container than
Yes.
the first container that we just heard of.
Correct.
Okay. And this one, you want to keep it permanently onto the property, this particular one?
If possible, I would like to.
Okay. And what is it made of?
Steel.
Okay, and is it on blocks?
Correct. Yes, it is.
Okay. Members, do you have any questions of our applicant?
We're gonna go through the 5 criteria?
We will.
Okay. We're gonna ask questions because.
Well, yeah, ask questions.
I think we should wait till after they go through the 5 criteria.
Okay, we can do that. You want to go through the 5 points of law now? Do you have your application with you?
I do.
And you can just write what you wrote, okay?
I apologize. This is my first time, so if I stumble a little bit.
Oh, no,
give
just
me a minute.
read just read verbatim because it's for the record. And the audience and everybody viewing, if they so choose at home, they wouldn't know what you wrote, so just read it as you have described it, okay?
The variance will not be contrary to the public interest. The equipment will be moved and stored on the back left side.
No, that's the wrong one.
Oh, bear with me here. Okay. The container is located on the back side of the 3-car garage and is used for general storage for shovels and more shovels and jumper cables. Items include such as what I just stated. The spirit of the ordinance is observed. The requested variance preserves the spirit of the ordinance by maintaining the property's compatibility with the surrounding neighbors. You can't see it from the roadway as much where the natural foliage has kind of filled it in. And we also are going to plant the rest of the arborvitae trees to block in that area. Substantial justice is done. Granting the requested variance would allow storage of the tools to be organized and out of inclement weather. Denial would result in equipment being in the weather and to the public eye. The values of the surrounding properties are not diminished. The requested variance will not diminish the value of surrounding properties. The project is consistent with the character of the neighborhood and will be constructed and maintained in a manner that is compatible with nearby homes and properties. Number 5A, the purposes of the subparagraph unnecessary hardship means that owning the special conditions of the property that distinguish it from the properties in the area. No fair and substantial request exists between the general public purposes and the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property, and there is no fair and substantial relationship between the purposes of the ordinance and its application to the property. The proposed storage container will be properly maintained and will be located in a manner that minimizes its visibility and impact on the neighboring properties. The proposed use is a reasonable one. It is a reasonable request due to the fact it will be put with snow tools and etc. out of sight of the public eye and out of inclement weather and is in proper storage. It would not affect any sight from the neighboring properties.
Thank you. All right, so since this is the first time you're here, so just to let you know, variances run with the land, regardless of who owns it. So this had a previous variance for an automotive repair business, and that stays with the land, okay? So just so that's FYI for you. So whether or not you remain there or it leaves, this variance runs with the land, okay? Any questions on Suzanne?
Great. So, for a variance, the legal enforcement, the number 5 criteria requires for your property to be different so that everyone else is complying with one storage facility, but you want to, what's different about your property than the other properties in the area that you should get 2 storage containers when everyone else can only have 1?
I would say that the way that the layout of the land is, with one container being very far set back, completely out of sight, out of mind, with the second smaller container being hidden by the way of the structure of the house and the garages, it kind of really shadows any view of anything there, along with the multiple trees we planted to use as a privacy fence.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
You're also directly across from that DPW road, right?
Correct, we are directly across from the DPW road.
Okay, and there's nobody, like, it's not like there's another house there, it's you guys are the ones that are
Yes,
right
that's
across
us.
from that, okay. And what's the traffic in and out of there like? Is it pretty?
During the weekday, it's
Yeah.
frequent.
Is it really?
It's
And what
very busy.
types of vehicles are you seeing coming on in and out of there?
Trucks,
Trucks,
large
trailers,
equipment,
loaders, excavators, all kinds of stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Mitch, you have any comments?
No, I'm just thinking hard.
So you, in your first case with us, 7/15/2026-4, you stated that that first container that was granted is temporary, and you have 5 years in which to construct that garage.
Correct.
So this, just for the record, this one would then be the only container, if we vote on it, that would actually be there in the end.
Yes.
Once you build your garage. Just stating. Because this one builds upon each other, so this one's a little more difficult. Do you have any other questions, or we good?
I think we could sunset this one too, if you wanted to. If you wanted to keep them, combine them, to keep them on the same timeline, but we don't have to.
We're gonna sunset a variance?
Personal use for the,
So don't forget, this has a previous variance granted for automotive repair. Higher impact than a 10 by 7 by 8 storage.
Just thinking about it.
And what is interesting with this and the way that it runs, when the other container sunsets, he would only have one container, not two, so this becomes a moot point.
It would be helpful to see what the prior zoning, because if they were granted a variance,
For automotive repair,
they hit, this property satisfied 5.
correct.
And I just don't know, I don't know what the basis was at that point. And I
Nick,
don't remember, I apologize. I
Yeah.
don't remember this case, I don't know if you do, so I don't know
it's
how
been,
long
it was
ago
there a long time.
Yeah.
That repair was a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're making the presumption that because it was an automotive, they could have 2 storage sheds?
No, the use being automotive repair.
I'm just interested in how was the property found to meet the 5th criteria then? That's my question.
I want to say, I thought I had researched 40 years he was there? 35?
It was quite a while.
Yeah, okay.
We know it was a variance and it wasn't
It wasn't
pre-zoned.
It was a
Pre-zone.
variance.
legally non.
It was a variance.
It was a variance.
And then it was a variance, yeah.
I don't even know what the variance
Well-
statute or law was
No.
at that time in terms of
No.
Show-
evaluating it.
Well, that's what conditions are anyways, at the end, if we need to hash that out.
I guess, to follow up on what was said, I wonder, would it benefit us to have that information?
Well, let me ask you this. Your intended new garage in 5 years, do you think you would even need this 10 by 7 by 8 at that point?
Possibly not. As of right now, I don't have a real yes, no, 100% answer on that.
Okay.
If the garage was,
If you could
big
have the
enough,
garage that you
if
wanted.
if the garage
Okay.
was big enough and
Mhm.
I could fit everything in there, plus what was in all of, the container, regardless of the 5 years on the other one,
Yep.
then I don't see why I would still need this smaller one. But if I would still need it, it is half the size of the one that I would be getting rid of, so it is cleaning it up quite a bit, if that's the concern.
Yep. So, I mean, so technically you might not even need it. When you
Correct.
get that garage. So, just keep that in mind. All right? The applicant may not even need this variance at that point, so we have language that we can sunset and have it sort of tag along with the first one.
I have not heard of sunsetting a variance with the exception of having a handicapped person in a property.
In the comments restrictions, it now says including any time frame condition.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
That's
I
why I
agree with you. I
Base
do
that on.
I do
Okay.
not know.
You guys do what you want.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna do what I do.
Well-
I do not-
I'm struggling with here, I mean, if we're talking about this thing is, I don't remember ever saying that because the property is different, that could have more stuff. It feels like an odd use of the 5th choice.
Yeah, I know.
And I
The
can't
fifth
get
one
it.
is the hardest to
And
satisfy.
but this is sort of backwards, and I can't quite figure out how I get there.
Yeah. That's why we
That's
have
what
this
I'm
board, because things don't fit in nice boxes anymore. Number 5 is the actual hardest one, and Suzanne has stated that, so you not having to follow the rules there has to be a hardship that is expressed. And I don't see it written, so I'm wondering if you can just take a moment to try to tell the board what is the actual hardship.
He's gonna tell you about his own personal hardship, which is not what that is.
No, that's not how
But
it
he
works.
answered. He said that the storage facility would be out of view, that they've planted trees. You guys mentioned they're across from the DPW.
We do plan on planting more trees as well in that area where that one actually is.
So the purpose of the ordinance to not allow more than one structure is likely to not overcrowd a lot, create, you know, a convoluted look to the properties or overcrowding of the properties. What I'm hearing is the question that was asked of him was what's different about your property that should allow you to not conform to the ordinance? And I guess maybe stated differently, is it that the relationship between the property and sort of the past uses and the configuration of the lots and the sort of arborvitae trees that now exist that others might not have that natural screening, does that alleviate the need to, I guess, is there a substantial is there a need for the application of, let me try to rephrase this.
How about this? I'll read it for you. So the applicant must prove that this property is unique and different from all other properties in the neighborhood. The applicant must establish that uniqueness. They must prove that, and it does not make sense to apply the ordinance to this property for those reasons.
If I could make a suggestion,
Yeah.
if we looked into what the prior variance was and what it allowed, that might make things easier.
I agree with you.
But that
Susan.
obviously would be continuing it, but
Yeah, I agree.
I agree
I
with
can
that.
tell you right now, I'm
Yeah, I know.
not inclined to say yes. But if we were to look at what was allowed, maybe that would shed some light and change the situation.
So this may be
support that.
pre-zoning. No, because it was a variance. So, okay, so we can continue this so till we
Well,
get
I
that
mean, It's
information.
their decision. and
So
I'm
would
only
you
one
like
person
to
here.
continue? Because I'd like to make a motion to continue because we need more information. We'll pull the variance for that automotive repair and see what it actually allowed.
Okay.
And then that would help clarify for the uniqueness.
Okay.
And what's going on here.
Because if we vote no,
You can't come back.
that's the end of it.
It's one bite of the apple.
So we're
Okay.
trying to get more information.
So getting more information and clarity will help us decide,
Okay.
okay?
Fine with me.
So do I have a motion for case number 7/15/2026-5 to be continued till August 19th so that we may obtain the previous variance information?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion in case number 7/15/2026-5 to continue this case to the August 19th meeting.
Do I have a
I
second?
would second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so that part will be continued. All right, we'll get that information so we can get that cleared up.
So,
You're gonna want to do the same thing.
yeah, we're gonna want the
And
next one, the
then-
next one even more so,
Yes, I would agree.
All right, so,
but I'll read it in if you're ready.
yeah, please.
Case number 7/15/2026-6, a request for a variance from LZO 4.1 to allow the storage of heavy equipment in the AR1 zoning district for properties located at 131 High Range Road, tax map 6, lot 5-1, Nathan Stiller and Jacqueline White, owner/applicant.
Okay, so in this, I also agree that I need more information. Do board members, do you agree we need more information?
Absolutely,
yes.
Okay, I do have one question. Heavy equipment, what does that mean?
Heavy snow removal equipment such as trucks, and actually a couple of the trucks are actually going to be working for the town this winter. But trucks, small heavy machinery, as such as in like small wheel loaders and skid steers or bobcats.
Okay.
And along with snowplow attachments, snow plows for the trucks, snow plows for the loaders or skid steers.
Okay. All right, so I'd like to make a motion to continue case number 715-2026-6 till the August 19th meeting until we can obtain previous variance information. Do I have a second?
Yes, second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, that one will be moved to our August 19th so we can get that information. All right?
Thank
Good.
you.
Sure, can we take a quick break before the last four?
Yep.
Froze the same.
And let's take a 10-minute break.
-7. I looked up and I was just like, this.
A 7/15/2026, Town of Londonderry. Let's continue.
Case number 7/15/2026-7, a request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.B.1 to allow a bus stop shelter to encroach into the required 30-foot green space in the C1 zoning district. The property is located at 225 Rockingham Road, tax map 15, lot 125, Gen X Construction Group LLC, owner and applicant.
And welcome. Please state your name and address for the record.
Sure. Good evening. My name's George Chadwick. I'm with Bedford Design, tonight representing the owner. Marco Plant is in the audience with me to help answer any questions the board may have. As was read into the record, we are requesting a variance from section 4.3.3A1 to allow an 8x10 bus shelter. The bus shelter is for a 40-unit project that the planning board has approved. That bus shelter will be located 15 feet from the front property line or right-of-way line. The bus shelter, I do have a photo of the bus shelter for the next variance. And this one's going to look very similar to that if the board would like to see what it would look like.
And I will, for the record, the variance request section is 4.3.3B1, not A1.
Are we,
B1.
which one are we doing first?
You're doing that one first, but it's B1, okay?
The structure setback is B1?
B1.
And then what is the one for the,
I got 7 right here for the structure, for the bus.
no picture.
I thought the structure was A1 and B1 was the one for the 30-foot front green space.
All right, let's look this
in a
up, because
commercial zone.
if our paperwork is typoed, we're gonna clean it up now, because that,
So you're correct. So
Okay.
B1 is the green space, but we have B1 before A1. So B1
Oh, okay.
is case 7.
Yes.
And then A1 is case 8. So
Okay.
it is-
There we go.
it is-
Okay.
Okay.
We're cleaning things up here, okay?
Bus shelter first, are you saying, does that make sense, or do we do?
That's how they have it.
No, it's green space first and bus shelter second. Should we do bus shelter first and green space? I don't know.
It's both the same.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
really, and my 5 criteria is the same for both. One is for the bus shelter within the 60-foot front yard setback, and the other one is within the 30-foot green space.
So we'll do the green, oh yeah, 7
Green space is first. even-
first. Yeah, we're gonna do green space first. Yeah, we'll do green first. Okay, green first.
We'll do green first. All right, so you're correct, it is 4.3.3B1. That is to allow a 8x10 bus shelter within the 30-foot green space setback in a commercial zone. As I started to say, the project has been approved by the planning board. While we were going through the final dotting of the i's and crossing of the t's, it was noticed that the bus shelter was within the setback. For that reason, we're here tonight. As I stated, it is an 8x10 bus shelter for the kids to wait for the school bus. The location of the bus shelter is 15 feet from the front property line, and the reason we located it where we did was to have a fairly quick turnaround between the kids seeing the bus, getting on the bus, and the delay of traffic as a result of the bus stopping on 28 for a period of time while they load and unload. If it was located further back out of the 30-foot green space setback, it would just be that much longer. And this also goes along with the next variance, which is the 60-foot front yard. So if I was to put it 60 feet away from the right-of-way line, it would be that much longer. So the whole purpose for locating the bus shelter where we did was to allow a quicker turnaround of the buses, kids being picked up by the bus. It is located in a spot that it doesn't affect the sight distance of the driveway or the motoring public. With that, let me just go through the 5 criteria if I could.
Thank you.
The first one, the variance is not contrary to the public interest. The placement of the school bus shelter has no detrimental impact to the public interest because the closer the location to the right-of-way allows for a shorter time for students to get on the bus than if it was placed further away. The shorter time allows for a reduced amount of stopped and waiting time for the bus at this location, impacting Rockingham Road traffic less. Number 2, the spirit of the ordinance is observed because the green space, 30-foot setback, requires buildings and pavement to be further away from the right-of-way, allowing for more visually appearing sight. The bus shelter is only 8x10, is not habitable except for the shelter waiting area for the students waiting for the bus. The small structure has little impact to the overall development appearance from Rockingham Road. And I'd also like to add that the bus shelter has been designed as an integral part in the landscape design for the project. 3, substantial justice is done. Strict enforcement of the 30-foot green space setback would require a longer wait time for students to see the approaching bus and a longer walk time down the sidewalk to board the bus. A shelter placed further away has more significant impact. 4, the values of surrounding properties are not diminished. The small size of the bus shelter, 8x10, and its location has no impact on the values of surrounding property values, since there would be a bus stop requested by the planning board. So I guess what we're trying to say here is the planning board has asked for a place for the kids to wait. The current location helps reduce wait time for loading, allowing the abutting properties to access Rockingham Road in a shorter time when students are being picked up at this location. 5, it says the little enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. 1, no fair and substantial relationship exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of the vision of the property. And the bus shelter is a small structure that allows students to wait for a bus in a protected building. Without a bus shelter, parents may park near Rockingham Road to keep students out of the inclement weather. which results in blocking of one lane at the entrance. If the structure were placed further away from the right-of-way, wait times for the bus would increase, resulting in more impact to traffic on Rockingham Road. The bus shelter is not a common structure on the property. Part two, the proposed use is a reasonable one. The small 8x10 structure placed closer than 30 feet, closer than the 30-foot green space required setback is a reasonable use for the property and benefits the motoring public in shorter wait times during motoring pickup. B, if Part A can't be met, the development has private roads and buses are not allowed to enter the property. The adjacent properties are zoned commercial, single-family residential, and industrial. The bus stop was requested by the planning board at a convenient location. If the bus shelter would be placed outside the 30-foot green space setback, the effectiveness would be reduced and have a more significant impact to the motoring public in longer wait times. An unnecessary hardship would be placed on students and traffic wait times in Rockingham Road. And that's the 5 criteria. I would like to, again, just state, the further the bus shelter is away from Rockingham Road, we would have a longer wait time for the motoring public. We all know that Rockingham Road is a very busy road. I think having a place for the students to congregate away from Rockingham Road would also create a safer environment than having it, kids just waiting at the end of the street like they would if there wasn't a shelter. And I think that's pretty much it.
Do we have any questions from the board? Okay,
So, how many feet into the 30-foot green space are you? Is that
15. We're 15 feet away from the front right-of-way line, so it'd be 15 feet.
That does not appear in our,
It does not. I added it tonight. I did add it tonight. And I do have a site plan
we'll have
to
that
show the
problem,
board.
I
I think
think,
it's
every single question, but we'll get there.
Why is I'm thinking about that area, why can't the bus come into the property? Why is it prevented from
You
doing
said
that?
it.
It's a private road, and the school doesn't enter, school district doesn't enter into private property.
Just scary to me where that bus stop is.
Well, there's your hardship. But,
Yeah.
I'm guessing,
there's a lot of questions, yeah.
is the road particularly narrow in there, in the development?
Actually, it's much wider than it needs to be.
Okay. Says the
The
developer.
planning board made us make it 28 feet wide with the town requirements at 24.
Okay. In the picture that we have up on the screens, or screen, the yellow box indicates where that shelter would be. What are the spaces going further in, away from the shelter on that same side? Are those parking spaces?
They are. They're parking spaces in front of the units.
Okay. So where I'm going with this is there are two 12-unit buildings, correct?
There's a total of,
24 apartments?
no, there's a total of 40 apartments. You only see the first sheet. The big black dash line is a match line.
Yep.
So you only see part of the site plan. You only see the first sheet of it. I have the whole thing if you want to see it.
Okay, so, and these are 2 bedrooms, so it's going to house children?
Certainly.
Okay. So out of all those units, the total unit, how many units would possibly these children be coming from? 48 units, you said?
Total of 40 units.
40 units. So if everybody had at least one child,
Potentially,
conservatively?
it could be 40 kids.
Okay. So this, and I'm not a builder, but this 8 by 10, yeah, 8 by 10, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm thinking about what a sheet of plywood is. And it's small. It can't even house the possibility of children.
Well,
That
it
come
certainly
out.
can handle some, but I guess you gotta
It only
think
can handle
of,
some.
yep, it can handle some. And I think what you need to think of too is that, yes, there'll be children coming from all these units. Some may be in elementary schools, some may be in middle schools, some may be in high school. Some may drive, or be driven to school. So yes, it is a small structure. We are trying to provide a space for the kids to get out of the inclement weather for a short period of time. Will they use it? I'm not here to tell you if they'll use it or not, but
No, but devil's advocate says if we have conservatively 40 children, the 40 children couldn't get in there if they wanted to wait for the bus. Or 20 couldn't really get in there. Maybe 5 comfortably?
so my response to that is, I don't think you'd have 40 elementary kids. You may have 10 elementary, 20 or 10 middle school kids and some high school kids, right? So I think the 40 number is large, but I get your point that it is a small structure. I do have a photo of what that structure will look like. I took some pictures of the structure that is already built at my next variance request coming down the line.
So if you
but
would like to, because that is not in this packet,
No, it is not.
I don't
Would-
believe it's in any. of the
No,
packets.
we don't have it. You
Okay.
mentioned it, but we don't have it.
okay, so
Yeah, let's see it.
all right. Can we have that copy that you have?
Sure.
So that we can mark it Exhibit A?
Got 2 photos.
All right, so we'll do Exhibit A and B, just so everybody can see.
Just to see what it looks like.
So this when you say this is for the next variance, this is for the
Gil-
one.
That's actually the one that's built at Gilcrest already.
Okay, so that's case 9 and 10.
Correct.
So I'll mark this as Exhibit A and Exhibit B for case 9.
Yep.
Now, the color scheme will be a little different on this one. It'll match the architecture of the building colors for this particular project, but ultimately, that's what it looks like.
This was a request of the planning board?
Yeah, the planning
Approval.
board had asked that we provide some sort of bus shelter.
But did not indicate size.
No.
Okay, this is the first
And
time
they
I ever come
They
across.
approved the project, right?
So this is the first time I come across something that appears to be very minimal for a possible overflow of people that would like shelter but can't. It's not provided. It's only provided for some. It's not really being provided. Well, I know not the high school, but who's to say that we don't have more grammar school children?
Possibly,
That
you know,
one's
I
So-
close
think,
to the road.
I just want to make sure that we don't shortchange you.
He doesn't want to build a bigger shelter.
You never know.
No, he doesn't. I do know.
Well, I just want to, so this is right up by the what we call the Triangle Mobile.
Yeah,
yeah, it is.
yeah. It's really
It's right
busy,
there,
right?
'cause I
It's
drove
right
past it
there.
And I didn't see any development, so I guess the
Yep.
building hasn't started that I could see from the road. I mean, the building of the development.
Yep, there was a house that was there that the developer allowed the fire department to burn down as a training exercise.
Thank you. All right.
May I ask you a question? So for case 9, which I know we're not on yet, you said you're going 46 feet into the setback, and then you're going 16 feet into the green space because the setback 60 feet, the green space is 30 feet. Here, you indicate that you're going 43 feet into the setback, and then it looks like, I know you mentioned 15 feet, but it looks like you have on your, the zoning board of adjustment reason for appeal, it looks like 13 feet into the green space which would be consistent with the 43 feet into the 60-foot setback. So is it?
Can I ask where you're getting those numbers from?
Sure, absolutely. So I'm looking at a document that's called Zoning Board of Adjustment Reason for Appeal. It's got an applicant's signature on it, and I guess this section was from the town.
Oh, okay, yeah, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
So, okay.
But I just want to make sure, because we've got on our agenda for the other three cases, so for case 8, case 9, and case 10, it has a specific amount that you're into the green space or into the setback. This is the only one that's not, doesn't have a specific amount.
Yeah, and when we get to that one, I have, not the clutter that what we're talking about now, but when we get to that one, I do have some specific distances based on an as-built that's been provided.
Okay.
I have a copy of the as-built. It's been submitted to the town as of today.
Okay. So for this case, case 7 and case 8, there's nothing there yet, so these are estimates.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
But we should tighten it up.
Well,
He said it was 15 feet.
right, he said it was 15 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, I prefer just using my number of 15. I scaled it off the site plan. I don't know where Nick got the numbers, but, yeah.
All right, so for the record, 15 feet into the green space setback. All right.
So how many
And-
feet is that in total then from the street?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but it's probably, from the edge of pavement, it's probably 25 feet. But again, we're talking from the property line, right? That's the way your rules are written.
Is there a reason you had to like build it? I get the benefits of a quick ingress and egress. The kids get on the bus quickly, they get off the bus, less stoppage of the bus. Is there any reason you couldn't build it like further in, like not encroach on the green space?
Where the parking spaces are that I mentioned?
Yeah, it architecturally, it just wouldn't fit in with the landscaping and the way that's designed. This is sort of tied into, if you drove by Gilcrest, for example, which is the 9 and 10. I'm sure you saw it built already if you did, and you see how it fits in with the entrance and the walls and the sign and all that type of stuff. To take it and move it back further, I think would just wouldn't fit in with the landscape architecture and the way the entrance has been designed. Again, it is a very busy road. I guess,
Both of them.
That's why I'm asking.
I follow a school bus in every day, and in just the short time they pick up 1 or 2 kids, I get frustrated.
Well, that's why I'm asking the question.
Well, it's fast. Again, we keep talking about this road tonight. It's been a topic of a whole bunch of cases. It's a fast-moving road.
It
And
is.
then to have a bus stop, because you're picking up children. I mean, this is a fast road.
Yeah, I guess my only response to that is whether there's a bus stop, the site plan's approved. So whether there's a shelter for them to be in or not, the kids are still gonna be there.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I don't know if it's appropriate to talk amongst ourselves. To me, when a bus stops with kids, whether I'm in a rush or not, I'm stopping and I'm gonna wait. If kids are sitting in something, the road is moving fast and they're close to that just worries me. I mean, honestly, that's why I bring that up. If the kids are really close to the road, sitting in a shelter and there's no bus there, that car trying to get up to speed on Smith feels dangerous versus the bus is stopped and it's flashing its lights. At least you have that. I don't know.
Well, because we have merging, you have on-off merging, you have 3 things happening right there in that short distance.
That's right. That's a tough place.
That's a tough place.
Well, I mean, the bus is gonna have to stop there anyway, whether there's a shelter there or not. So I don't know necessarily if that's the consideration. I'm hearing more, I don't know, I do have questions about the hardship element of it.
Please ask the applicant.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of the hardship element, it sounds like it's really due not necessarily to the nature, the unique characteristics of the property, but more because of the architectural design. Am I wrong, or are there considerations for the property that could establish that there's really no, reasonable need for the variance as applied to the property?
Well, actually, the planning board told him he had to.
Well,
To have
yeah,
a
you know.
structure, right?
Yeah.
But where? Like,
Yeah, and again, the board approved the site plan that showed the structure where it is. And it wasn't until, like I said, the 9th hour before planning board signed the plan that it was even noticed. And
Okay.
to take it even one step further, variances 9 and 10 on Gilcrest, it's built. They got a building permit.
Well, we're not gonna talk about that
you
right
know.
now,
I
so
understand, but
we'll
you can
we'll
see
focus
that-
on this one. All right, I guess.
So again, the hardship really is, yes, it's in the land, it's a long, narrow parcel of land, but the impact to the kids, to the motoring public certainly outweighs any general impact that there is to the ordinance.
This property is unique because of the multi-units that are coming in and out of this entry-exit way onto a very busy route. It's not even a street or just a cul-de-sac. And the merging of traffic onto it and the people getting off of it to get onto the other side. So you got a lot going on right there, and the safety of the children in a shelter, definitely safer in a shelter than the running around type of thing waiting for a bus.
Right.
So, I don't have any other questions. I guess I'm just. Any other questions? All right. I'm going to take it out to the public. Anyone that would like to speak on behalf of the applicant, please approach. Let the record show there is none. Anyone that is in opposition, please approach. And there is no one. All right, so I'll bring it back. Do we have any other questions of the applicant before we continue? We're good? All right, at this time, I'm going to close the public portion of this hearing. Do we have anything else to hash out before we go
Well,
into the 5
question
points?
is, are the kids safer back in 30 feet, or are we gonna put them?
I think for so many reasons they
feet
are.
in.
Because even
I
when the
know.
bus isn't there, cars are pulling out.
Yeah,
Another car hits them into the.
I know.
Yeah, I have some serious concerns about the safety of putting a shelter there. I just can't get past that.
I think that's what my concern is. It's just, there's a lot going on right there. And,
Especially right there.
right there. And it's not, it's opposing traffic, never mind the people living there. Exactly to your point, Mitch.
I mean, when the bus is there, I feel it's the safest time. I'm not saying it's safe.
No,
But
but,
that's the safest of the times.
right, the bus stops, the signs go up, there's red lights, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I guess that's why I was asking to, move it in some, and, I mean, just,
I mean, there's a point where we don't have to approve it if it's in far enough, but.
Right.
correct.
Yes.
Right. That's the only issue is.
Because
where it
it's
is.
just parking spaces.
Right.
Well, you say just parking spaces, but parking is huge.
Yeah.
Oh, parking is huge, I get it, but again,
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing.
that's why we're here,
Dismiss
because
it.
not everything fits nicely in these variances. Because we can go through the 5 points a lot, because it addresses safety concerns, so we have to, make sure we address all those 5 points.
You ready for them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because.
I do think it would alter the character of the neighborhood. I think that's a very busy street with cars coming up and down and putting kids at the end there. A shelter is a very different thing than what that area is about. You might disagree, but that's how I feel.
No, I agree with that. I mean, again, this kind of intersection past that triangle mobile, I mean, all the time you're kind of like looking. to
Oh,
see
you're-
if you can pull out.
Oh,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
Fly.
close to
Then they
the
fly
stopping
down
point.
that
Like if you
stretch.
look on Google Earth, the proximity to that split right there and where the bus would likely stop is.
Your head's gonna be coming
Close.
around, you're gonna be looking back on Rockingham Road, and your head's gonna be coming around. You may hit that road already. You may not even see.
Some people don't know that it's a stop sign now as opposed to a yield
That's
sign
correct.
that they've seen
Right.
for years.
And
Right.
you're absolutely right, which you do as
Yeah.
as a motorist just to get onto the
Yeah.
road.
Yeah.
But if you look at 221 Rockingham Road, which is right next door, there is a structure that appears to look like a bus stop or a waiting area.
I don't know that the bus stop changes the character of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
Right.
I wouldn't, I didn't think it changed the
It
character.
does, so yeah, because the number one is,
Character.
yeah, character. Does it alter the character of the
I
neighborhood?
think of that area as cars are running really fast and now you've got something completely different, but
There's a lot of commercial there, so I guess we could debate that. I guess, well, that's why we're here to vote on it, so.
Correct.
Does it alter the character of the neighborhood?
I would say no.
I say no.
I would say yes.
I would say that it does.
I would say that it does. All right, so we have,
So you guys are done.
You got the three? You tell me.
Hmm?
You three outvote Suzanne and I.
Okay, so
you
we
have to
say
tell me
it's-
your reason.
because the character of that neighborhood is commercial. It is,
Cars zipping along, you know.
it's, yeah, it's, the neighborhood is a commercial, it's,
A throughway, I
So
mean,
you
it's not a.
understand that this development has already been approved?
yes.
Okay.
Right.
I think the Supreme Court has said too, like whether alteration of the characteristics of the neighborhood contemplates the safety and public welfare.
That's number two.
That's sort of our
Oh,
next
that's-
one.
Yeah, that's number two.
So, well, I guess as the reason to the alteration of the characteristics of the neighborhood, I do think in terms of like this road being a through kind of quick road, there are, really no other businesses that require, stopping kind of within the right of way.
Right, because the rest of, it's sub shops, it's a Dunkin's, it's,
There though.
it's all,
What is right
Why
there?
is across the street?
Is there?
It's across the street by just a little bit and down the road.
But they have a parking lot to pull into.
I don't know
right?
if the bus pulls in there.
Oh, the bus pulls in there.
Yep.
Yeah, the
Does
bus
it?
pulls in.
Okay.
Yep.
Which is different. Stop in the street, pulls in.
I'm not aware of any other, like, I know that this is approved, so it's not necessarily any
No.
comment toward the multi-use, but the nature of how the area is going to
alter
be
the
used
character of
is-
the
I
neighborhood.
think by
It's
putting
different.
that in that green space, you've changed that as a speeding, cars merging in and merging out into a, suddenly there's children sitting there at the edge of the road. That's a different type of neighborhood.
Yes.
That's my theory. on it. But
Yeah, it's, yes,
As
it,
we described it, I would say that's where everyone picks up speed to get on to the road as opposed to, and watch out for the children on the right, you know? Like, it's just not what people do. Now, it might change some when people go in and out of that development, but I can't speak, I don't know what's gonna be that.
no, we only can speak for the character of the neighborhood as we see it right now.
Right.
Okay.
I think it would.
Okay. Spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because.
I say it would not. I mean, I think you're better off either having kids come further and having that bus sit there for a while than having kids sit at the edge of the road when cars are pulling in and out of the new neighborhood and speeding down the road. So I think it's less safe to have kids in that green space.
So,
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree
For
with that.
the safety and the it brings to light the safety concerns and welfare and the health of the children.
Right.
Or anybody waiting in that
Right.
bus. It doesn't have to be actually a child. But
Did it get darker in here?
screens went off.
Okay.
Look
What
at you.
happened?
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because.
I would say would not.
I would say would not.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's a greater loss to the public.
I agree.
I agree.
For the following reasons, the values of surrounding properties would or would not be diminished. I would say would not.
I would
agree.
I agree.
Yeah, I don't see how that would affect property values.
Right. Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general and public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision of the property because.
I'm not sure. That might not be, it might be is not here. I don't know.
Well, the answer actually in this case was, I think, was B, where he talks about that the buses can't get in there.
Right.
So
Oh,
they're
yeah, that's
forced then to
probably
be
correct.
out on the street.
That's
Um,
correct.
Yeah.
That's where I was heading as well.
But that doesn't mean that it's okay to have the green space encroached with the. bus
No,
shelter.
but it does meet the special conditions, because he's forced, he has no other alternative. He can't get children.
Oh,
I
no.
think the alternative is it's
No,
set
here's an
back.
Push it back,
alternative. He can
right.
set it back into the property.
Yeah, but the applicant didn't
But he doesn't want to.
want to.
Understood, but I don't think that meets the hardship criteria for this.
So what do we say here? Are we, I'm stymied. Suzanne, I look to you.
So is not as if you allow it, so the question is,
There
there's
is fair and substantial justice.
It is a fair and substantial relationship.
the
Relationship.
Yeah, I think
Then that
that's
goes
right.
back to the safety issue.
Yeah, that's right.
For the reasons expressed.
Yes. I agree.
The proposed use is or is not a reasonable one because.
A shelter's reasonable.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
with that.
And we will have to do B.
Yes.
The criteria in subparagraph A are not established, unnecessary hardship will be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to special conditions of the property distinguished from other properties in the area, the property can or cannot be reasonably used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and the variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. I think the property can be reasonably used in strict conformance with the
I
ordinance.
agree.
I agree.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion in case number 715-2026-7 to deny the request for a variance.
Do I have a second?
I'll
Can we just
second
go
it.
back for a second? You're denying it because it failed to meet the criteria of the,
Oh, did we? I apologize.
I just want to make sure we have a reason.
Do
No,
I have a
absolutely.
motion?
Yeah, I'll restate. I'd like to make a motion to deny the request for variance in case number 715-2026-7 as the requested variance did not pass the 5 criteria.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
It's 5-4. It's gotta be 5-4, 5-4 to deny it.
Oh, jeez,
Yeah.
I just did the opposite.
Yeah.
That's right, and then 0.
We did pass the one, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter when.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
No, no, I know. I'm just trying to remember.
I flipped it when I
Well, it gives
wrote
you, gives you like,
It's unusual for us.
yeah.
Yes, it is unusual for us. All right.
I guess we're not hearing the rest of these.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Let's hear the rest of them.
So, you ready for the next one?
Are you saying, did you read that it was denied in the record?
So I thought I did, but I'll do it
I don't
again.
remember you doing it, but maybe you did.
I don't know. In case number 715-2026-7, the request for a variance was denied as the requested variance did not meet the 5 criteria.
Okay, thank you. Ready for the next.
Madam Chair,
Case-
if I may, what was the vote on that?
It was 5-0. Case number 715-2026-8. Request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.1 to allow a bus stop shelter to encroach 43 feet into the required 60-foot front setback in the C1 zoning district. Property is located at 225 Rocking Road, tax map 15, lot 125, Gen X Construction Group LLC, owner and applicant.
Do you want to continue, or would you like to withdraw that one?
I'll go forward.
Or go
I'd
forward?
like to continue,
You got it. Let's go.
because if we don't and we appeal it, we have nothing to appeal against, so.
Okay. State your name and address for the record.
Sure. My name's George Chadwick with Bedford Design, representing the applicant. What we're asking for is a structure to be located within the 60-foot front yard setback. It's actually 45 feet into the front yard setback. I believe your notice says 43 feet. That's 45 plus the 15 is the 60. And as far as my presentation, it's verbatim from the previous one for all the same reasons.
Okay. Anybody have any questions of the applicant?
Madam Chair, if we may comment?
Yes.
Marco Plant of Hudson, New Hampshire, owner of the property Gilchrist. I know the last one we just got denied on, which is fine. We were notified about this as this project comes to an end and we're completing. The bus stop, the children are gonna congregate along the side of the road to catch the bus no matter what. I think having the shelter there is a great benefit for them to take some cover. Whether it's there or not, they're gonna be by the road, waiting for the bus. That's all.
So with that, and planning takes a lot of consideration about safety, and that's their job. So when planning required that, then it threw a monkey wrench because you had to come to us. So we have the 5 criteria that we have to meet. And the safety factor is not taken lightly. And all of us here are, we volunteer, but we all live in town, and we all know exactly where that location is. And being in a car, and from the last case, our testimony and our deliberation on what we experience as motor vehicle operators trying to get on and off that road, and that safety factor, and we're in a car or a truck, right? So I understand your point and our point about the safety of the children. Yes, they have to get on and off the bus. But to have a child on Rockingham Road like that, on the side of that road with the cars going that fast, that's a problem. So that shelter absolutely is having a shelter is one less possibility that they would be in harm's way because they have a shelter protecting them versus there are parking spaces near there. And whether or not you as a developer want to sacrifice a parking space, it's just my opinion, because that's all it is, to not want to sacrifice a parking space so that the structure can come in a little further and be even more safe, to me is being very narrow-minded, because if you're concerned about the safety of the children, so aren't we. Or not even children, it could be even the adults that live at these, that will live there, that will wait for a bus. You know, does a city bus even stop on that road? I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But if they waited, or if they were elderly and they had the pickup services, can those people go in it's a private road, you know, like Derry has a pickup service for the elderly. Are they allowed in there? I don't know. Sure. But if they're not, those people would wait there at that shelter. Again, it's safety. So I understand your viewpoint, and you want things safe, and so don't we. And it's just, we're hashing that out. But you have alternatives. And if you don't want to choose an alternative, that's why you're here trying to tell us why the 5 criteria that you meet that, and that you shouldn't have to follow the rules because of these 5 reasons. But they have to be strong. Mm-hmm. And if there's any safety concerns, that's what we're here for. Okay?
Understood.
Does anybody else have anything they'd like to ask of the
Do they need
applicant?
to read it back in, or can we just carry forward what they did for the last?
That's, for the record, he did acknowledge that everything that he testified for the case number 715-2026-7 is his same presentation, only with the variance now being 4.3.3.A.1.
We're not even on that one yet.
Okay, I have no questions.
Okay.
I think we should incorporate by reference our discussion in case number 715-2026-7 as it's applicable to this variance as well.
I would agree.
Agreed.
I agree. So that will be for the record as well. Let me take it out to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of the applicant? Let the record show there is no one. Anyone in opposition for the applicant? Let the record show there is no one in opposition. Do we have anything else of the applicant? Would you like to say anything else before we go into deliberations?
No, we're all set, thank you.
Okay. So before I close it, so you don't want to sacrifice any of the parking spaces that are on your plan, that move it just a little bit further in?
Those parking spaces are required per your zoning ordinance.
So those parking spaces made the cut for the planning, because you needed those to fulfill your parking requirements?
Per your zoning ordinance, correct.
Okay.
Because of the number of units.
Because of the number of units. We need X amount of parking space per your zoning.
Jackie, when you're done, Nick.
I just want to make sure that you're clear when you're looking at this plan. The lines on the plan are the green setback and the front setback. And the parking spaces are further back. You have a plan that you show them so they
Sure.
see better? There is space between the parking and between the front setback. That's not parking
Move
area.
the shed there.
Right. So there is space there.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a fire lane that's, I'll show you here in a second.
That is a hydrant.
You all
I
agree.
see the hydrant on the plan.
Well, if the screens hadn't gone off, we'd all see.
Do we have like a limit on how late we can
You
run the
must think this is a
screens?
younger board than it is.
Thank you.
So, on the plan, the first dash.
Yep.
I'll do this for everybody here. First dash line here that runs across is the 30-foot green space setback that we talked about. The next dash line is this one right here, and that's the 60-foot front yard setback. We have a fire access / access to the detention basin that's back here for drainage purposes that is in this location right here. We've got a fire hydrant and then a walkway with, looks like some bicycle racks, but those could be relocated. So there is a little bit of space here between the sidewalk and that fire access / access to the detention pond. And again, I think the whole purpose for the bus shelter was to put it, in our opinion, a safe location that was best for not only the kids getting on and off the bus, but the wait times for the motoring public. Again, the further we move back that bus shelter from the road, the longer it's gonna take. I know on the way to work, on a rainy day, you got kids sitting in a car. It takes that much longer for the kid to get to the bus if they're sitting in the car. So just envision whether they're 15 feet away in the amount of time it may take, or 4 times that distance away, the time that it's gonna take. And again, I know there's a bus sitting there with the flashing lights and stop the traffic, but people get very frustrated. And I've seen people go around me while I'm waiting for the school bus because they can't wait. They got to get to work. They got to get their coffee. Who knows what it is? But, that impatientness of the motoring public will be exacerbated the further away the bus stop is from the street. So, but again, my testimony earlier, like I said, stands, for this application as well.
The frustration of motoring public should never even be taken into consideration above the safety of people.
I guess I would state that a bus shelter or any waiting area that's 25 feet or so away from the edge of travelway is safe.
And there's been plenty of other locations throughout town, throughout the state, that the motoring public, it's shameful if they become irritated, want to get to work for a coffee or whatever that reason is.
Sure.
I'm just stating for the record, to me, it's not a justification for a safety concern because someone's going to be irritated. The motoring public, they are in a vehicle, they have responsibilities for that, whether or not they're frustrated or not, and whether they go around you because you stop, and those are the people that hurt all the others.
Sure.
But it's not a reason to say that it's okay, that we're going to frustrate somebody. We're going to frustrate a motorist because they have to wait for children to get on a
Sure.
school bus.
I agree with everything you're saying. And I would just ask that when you and I mentioned this to Nick a few minutes ago, when you vote to deny or approve a project, that it be based on, in this instance, the structure. In other words, the green space should have been voted based on the effects of having the structure in the green space, not the effects of safety on the green space or on the structure in the green space. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
I actually understand what you're saying. However, at zoning, we only have the 5 criteria that we must meet. And safety is the altering of the character of the neighborhood is the first on the agenda, and then it's safety after that. So we don't have a choice on how we interpret. We have to just really focus on what it is that you are asking for, and if any one of those 5 is broken, that is our duty to either accept or deny based on the findings of those 5 criteria.
We understand.
Could I suggest we?
Yes.
Yeah, we move forward?
Yes. All right. With no other further questions, this portion of the hearing is closed, and let's go into deliberations. Do we need that, or can we go into the 5 points?
I would go into the 5.
5 points.
5 points, okay.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because, I would say it would not. I don't think it alters the character of the public, of the neighborhood, but.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it takes what's just a busy road that people are rushing on and makes it. a
It's
place where
commercial.
children are sitting right by the edge of the road.
I think it's 3-2 again on that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
you could speak up if you just.
Well, I would say, like, I'm raising the safety thing again too, because I know it's the second criteria, but it is related, intertwined with the first criteria, so I'm just restating and incorporating by reference everything that I stated in the
The
first.
character of the neighborhood, okay, is altered. Okay.
Spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because, I would say it would not. I think the location of the bus stop shelter threatens the health and safety specifically of anyone waiting at that bus stop.
I agree.
Right, I think people will be there a lot longer than they would be just coming out when the bus stops and has the flashing lights, and hopefully humans do stop, so I think it having that shelter there, and even after school, kids might congregate in that area because the shelter is there.
So do you agree
I absolutely agree.
that there is a safety and health concern?
Correct,
Okay,
yes.
I just want to make sure for the record.
So it sounded that way, but fair enough.
Okay. Suzanne?
Yes.
Yep. Ariana?
I do, and I would just note from the application standpoint, for whether the spirit is observed, it states as a reason it allows a visually more appearing site and that the structure is not habitable. So I would just state for the record that those are not, reasons of why that the ordinance would be observed.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because, I would say would not. I think there's a greater loss to the public from granting the variance as a result of the risk posed based on the location.
I agree.
Would agree.
Agreed.
For the following reasons, the value of surrounding properties would or would not be diminished. I would say would not. I don't think the location of the bus stop changes the surrounding
I would
property.
agree.
I agree.
Agreed.
Do you agree, Suzanne?
I do.
Okay.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, Denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that present property because, I would say there is for the reasons expressed in responding to questions 1 and 2.
I agree.
A2, the proposed use is or is not a reasonable one. I'd say is. I think the bus stop shelter is reasonable.
I agree. Do you agree, Suzanne?
I do.
Perfect.
B,
I'm not being vocal enough.
if the criteria in subparagraph A are not established, an unnecessary hardship would be deemed to exist if and only if owned to special conditions for property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. The property can or cannot reasonably be used in strict conformance with the ordinance. The variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. I would say there can, the bus stop shelter can be located further back from the road.
I agree.
I agree.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion in case number 715-2026-8 to deny the request for a variance for the failure of the variance to meet the 5 criteria.
Do I have a second? Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
In case number 715-2026-8, the request for a variance was denied for failure to meet the 5 criteria. Do you wanna make sure they match up?
Yeah. Done. Did you read that it was denied?
I did.
You did? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I believe they stay. You ready for 9?
Number 9.
So we're post 10, so we should at least chat about that.
Yeah.
What's that?
What?
Post 10 o'clock, which isn't that usually, we make a decision.
Ah, we do. All right, so we have one case left.
I think we have 2.
2 cases.
Why do I only, oh yeah, 2. Okay. We are only required to stay till 10. It is now after 10. We still have 2 more. We have to take a vote.
What would be the alternate? Would we do it in 2 weeks, or would we bring it to the next month?
What's the date for the
The 19th is the
overflow?
regular date, I think.
The first Thursday in August.
First Thursday in August is overflow. Okay.
Is that right?
I think so, right?
Well, you know more than me, so I believe you. But first Thursday, what date
Do
is
you
that?
have that?
August 6th.
One of the dentists on the 5th, right? So something tells me I have something on the 6th, but I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna worry about it.
Or you just rip it out,
Alternates.
drop the damn thing.
So, I mean, we can decide to stay, correct?
We have to let the applicant know what the overflow date is, and then we have to vote on if we're gonna be staying.
So they don't have the overflow dates anymore. I
Okay.
thought it was the first Thursday of the
I
next
didn't
month.
think we had them anymore either.
Oh, so it just goes to next
The
month?
next meeting.
It goes to the next meeting. Okay, the next meeting is August 19th. All right. So do we have a vote? Do you want to continue the next 2 cases, or are we continuing it to August 19th? Mitch, do you want to stay?
Oh, I'm up in the air. I'd probably be happy to go, but I'll stay if that's what the group decides.
Ariana?
I don't care, I'll stay. Just push through.
Yeah, I'll stay.
All right, I'll
Stay.
stay.
Yep.
All right, then
Let's
I'll
go.
stay
Do you
too.
2 want to stay?
You don't need us, right?
Oh, you can go.
You could go.
Oh, you can go.
Do you stay or can you go? Sounds like a song.
Makes sense.
Just like, come on.
Okay,
right,
so you
let's-
2 go. Let's go.
So
All
let's-
right,
let's
so
jump in.
we're going to hear it.
Okay, I'm
Thank
happy
you.
to do it.
Case number 715-2026-9, a request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.A.1 to allow a bus stop shelter to encroach 46 feet into the required 60-foot front setback in the C1 zoning district. Property is located at 52 Gilchrist Road, tax map 7, lot 7-74, Gilchrist, Londonderry LLC owner / applicant.
State your name and address for the record.
Sure, just so, my name is George Chadwick with Bedford Design, representing the applicant. Make sure I'm talking about the right one. Are we talking about the buffer, or are we talking about the setback on the first one here?
So the first one here is the setback.
So
9
we're
is the
talking about the
setback.
setback this time, okay. All righty. Again, as I stated, my name's George Chadwick with Bedford Design, representing the applicant. This is for a bus shelter, or a school bus shelter that is located 4.6 feet from the lot line. The reason I'm able to say an exact dimension, it is constructed at this point. I have an as-built plan that was recently submitted as of this afternoon to the town. I'm sure the town hasn't had a chance to look at it. The bus shelter is located here, where the entrance is. If you happen to drive by, you've seen it. The bus shelter is 4.6 feet away from the right-of-way. So instead of 46, it would be 45.5 feet into the buffer.
Okay.
55.
45.4, excuse me. Did I say?
55 into it.
What's that?
You're only 4'6" off the front property line.
Right. Oh, 55, my apologies.
55.
Yeah, 55.4 feet into the buffer, into the front setback. I can go through the 5 criteria. Is a 68-unit project. This particular project was approved by the planning board. We obtained a building permit for the project, although a building permit, I guess, is not necessary for the bus shelter itself, being under 200 square feet in size, but it was constructed per the site plan approval. So we're asking for a reduction in the front setback from section 4.3.3A1. And that being a 60-foot front setback in a commercial zone. I can go through the 5 criteria. The variance will not be contrary to the public interest. The placement of the school bus shelter has no detrimental impact to the public interest because the closer location of the right-of-way allows for a shorter time for students to get to the bus than if it were placed further away. The shorter time allows the reduced amount of stoppage time for the bus and the waiting traveling public. The spirit in the ordinance is observed because the 60-foot building setback requires structures over 6 feet in height to be further away from the right-of-way, allowing for more visual appearing site. The bus shelter is only 8 by 10 and is not habitable except for the sheltered waiting area for the students waiting for the bus. The small structure has little impact to the overall development appearance and is in the spirit of the ordinance of a typical building buffer for front of the property. 3, substantial justice is done. Strict enforcement of the 60-foot building setback would require a longer wait time for students to see the approaching bus and longer walk time down to the sidewalk to board the bus. A shelter placed further away from has a significant impact. A shelter placed more than 60 feet away from the right-of-way is less effective in quickly allowing students to board the bus. 4, the value of surrounding properties are not diminished. The small size of the bus shelter is 8 by 10, and its location has no impact to the value of surrounding property values, since there would be a bus stop requested by the planning board on the site location. The current location helps reduce wait times for loading, allowing the abutting properties to access Gilchrist Road in a shorter time when students are being picked up at this location. 5, literal enforcement of the provisions of the ordinance would result in unnecessary hardship. No fair and substantial justice exists between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of the provision to the property. The bus shelter is a small structure that allows students to wait for a bus in a protected building. Without a bus shelter, parents may park near Gilchrist Road to keep students out of the inclement weather, which results in blocking one lane of the entrance. If the structure were placed further away from the right-of-way, wait times by the bus would increase, resulting in more impact to the traffic on Gilchrist Road. The bus shelter is not a common structure on developments. The proposed use is a reasonable one. The small 8 by 10 structure placed closer than the required 60 feet setback is reasonable use of the property and benefits the motoring public and shorter wait times during the morning pickup. And those are the criteria. I submitted, prior to an earlier application, a picture of the bus stop that is already constructed. It was as a result of the past variance application that was submitted. This was identified as an issue. As I stated, it was approved by the planning board, so we just built it per the approved site plan that was approved.
So for the record, we have those pictures as Exhibit A and Exhibit B for the
Thank
file.
With that, we're both here to answer any questions the board may have.
Any questions?
I do have one. Then I think you've stated it twice, but I just want to be clear that the planning board approved the plan showing this bus stop in the location that it is built.
That is correct.
And then they advised you that you needed to come here to get a variance.
They did not.
Okay.
I was advised by Public Works that it didn't meet the setback, and after discussions, I believe, with the building department, we're here for a variance. It wasn't the planning board that said we needed to get a variance.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have none.
Okay. I'm going to take it out to the audience. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant, please approach. Let the record show no one. Anyone in opposition? Let the record show no one. It's already there. Okay.
Has the highway department indicated, how did this come about?
Public Works.
Oh, Public Works, okay.
Same series of questions, I think. So why could, the buses can't come into the private way, same problem there.
Correct.
And what about bringing it in further as opposed to right on the road?
I see the transformer concrete pad. Is that in the way?
So the structure setback is way back here.
Yes.
The buildings are pretty much located on the structure setback, so there isn't any room to move it further away from, or to get it out of that structure setback, out of that 60-foot structure setback. Yeah.
Gilchrist Road is a different road than the prior cases that we heard. Gilchrist Road is a less traveled road in comparison to what we've been talking about this evening. It is a 30-mile-an-hour road there. I live not too far from there, so I can attest to that. It's not a speeding road, so.
It's busy, but it's not
It's
the
busy,
same.
but it's a whole different atmosphere, a lot of residential, and there's a lot of bus stopping on that whole road all morning long. So This is a whole different geographic area for a bus stop. So I just want to put that out there for the record.
I think that's fair.
I have no more questions. You good? Okay. At this time, we will close the public portion of this hearing.
Did you ask for
Did
anyone?
you
in
ask if anybody
opposition?
wants to talk?
Oh,
Thought you did.
I did.
You could try it again.
All right.
Won't hurt anybody.
Let me reopen it. Anyone in opposition for the applicant? Let the record show no one. With no further questions, the public portion of this hearing is closed. Do we have anything to hash out?
I mean, we can discuss it if we want, or,
Yeah, now's the time. Let's go put it on the record.
I mean, so based on what you've said, I agree this is not that area, it's not only that road, it's that area of that road, which is particular. I'm less concerned about the neighborhood here, but I still feel like bringing a bunch of kids to the edge of the road, which is still a busy road, just not as bad, it's still not particularly safe. I don't know that there's a neighborhood character issue, but I don't love inviting kids to congregate right by the edge of a busy road to wait for a school
And this is 4 feet.
Yes, correct. Right, that is the issue. Again, character of neighborhood different. It's a different.
A whole
neighborhood.
different area.
I agree with that, but boy, yeah,
It's close.
it's close.
It's very close.
So it's just, I feel similarly in that way.
The quagmire here is they're required. They did what planning asked them to do. And now we have an opposing department saying, hey, it doesn't fit here.
But we have different roles.
And we all have different
you
roles,
know,
so,
if that were the case, then they'd say planning rules it, you don't need zoning, but you do. And so for me, we have to do what
but
we would normally.
usually planning picks up on these things
Yeah.
because they're very good at what they do.
Oh, I agree.
So this oversight is now our concern, and that's why they're in front of us.
I
Is it really close? It's already built, yep. And from the stop sign that's right there, how many feet would you say right at the stop, from the stop sign? Only what, 10 feet, if that, maybe 5?
5 feet, maybe?
5 feet.
There's a lot of visibility in front of this development on both sides. I will just kind of.
Oh, it's totally different. This is totally different. There's visual, it's a neighborhood. It's different.
But it also very well might be like in the maintenance portion of the right of way, so.
If it's 5 feet off the
Do you
road.
mind asking that question again, and maybe I can, did you close the public hearing?
She did.
You did? Okay,
I'll reopen it.
thank you. Can you repeat your question?
Yeah, so I said that, well, for one, the frontage of this development is completely different from the concerns before.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of visibility on both sides. There's not really trees covering, there's, looking out and zooming into the area. But I said one of the concerns that I would point out is just like the location. Typically, there's a traveled width of a right of way where the public has a public easement to travel, and then there's some unknown limit to either side where there's ability for the town to maintain the right of way, shoulders, drainage, all of that. I said basically that the issue is it's almost like that this is literally within like the maintenance portion of the right of way, like outside of the viatic travel portion of the right of way, but it's almost like in the right of way.
Sure.
So I don't know if there's visibility concerns in this area. I've driven by it a billion times, but I particularly remember seeing the bus stop, so I don't know if anyone has any thoughts about visibility or anything like that.
Maybe I can answer your question if you could.
Maybe Nick knows.
This is outside, 5 feet outside of the public right-of-way. So any of the.
travel portion, the pavement.
Nope, it's probably, from the pavement, it's probably 15 feet, something like that. So it's 5 feet into our property is what this is located. Also, from a site distance standpoint and visibility standpoint, planning did look at it. We provided site distance planning profiles and bus shelter was there, and they do have line of sight.
That clarification is helpful, because I mean, these pictures look like it's like on the road. so-
Unfortunately, sometimes pictures make it look closer
Sure,
than
so
it,
thank you for that, that's
than it
helpful.
is. But it is 5 feet onto our property.
Okay,
I think the property line probably is pretty much almost where the stop sign is.
Okay, that's helpful.
I think.
There's not a lot of space between the stop sign and the,
5 feet.
how are you gonna see? If you're just, okay. No one will be blowing through that stop sign, I hope. Because you're not gonna be able to follow the, anyway. Doesn't matter.
Hey, can you pass those down again when you're?
We sure can. You can't push it back further either because of the concrete pad for your transformer? Because it probably has to be a certain distance from the transformer.
It does,
Can it be on the opposite side, the opposite corner from the stop sign?
Unfortunately, on the other side, if
Yeah.
you happen to be driven by, there's this large monument sign with stone walls, and
Yeah,
there's really no room, I think, to flip it to the other side. You
Yeah.
have a light pole, a hydrant, and then there's a fence built into the front there. So, moving it to the other side, I'm not sure is doable. Moving it further away from the right-of-way,
it's just crazy because it's right there at the stop sign. I was just wondering maybe if the other side, because it looks like we have more.
Unfortunately, on the opposite side
Yep.
of the driveway, there is no room to move it.
how long has it been up there for, built for?
Over the winter? Back
No,
in
good-
January?
You could frame this spring,
Spring?
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Pardon? Yeah. Yeah, because it wasn't there and I
Move
came
back
back
into
and it was there.
Let's move back into deliberations.
Close the
I
hearing.
propose.
All right, so at this time, we're gonna close the public portion of the hearing. Let's go into deliberations, and we have different facts for this one. Not that we like, but if we focus on the 5 points of law in this case, and all of the evidence that was presented, and the location of the development, the road speed, and what we presently have today. So that's what we gotta focus on when we start answering the 5 points of law. So let's go.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to public interest because, I would say it would not. I don't think it changes the character of that neighborhood.
I would agree with
I agree.
Spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because,
I still believe it would not. That is so close to the road. You're having kids congregate in that, and the bus will be there at some point, but it's not there at all times. And so you have a little structure with a lot of children right near what is a busy, not as busy as the other one, but a busy road with cars and people going to work. So from my perspective, it's still, I would be no there. It would violate basic objectives.
I agree with Mitch.
yeah, I do as well.
I agree.
I agree. It's 5 feet from a stop sign. It's literally almost on top, and you sort of kind of look at the building, and you're like, what, a stop sign?
People fly down that road too. You're coming down a hill. And they,
Yeah, but it's nowhere near 28 though.
understood.
And you just have, you're telling kids this is the place to hang before the bus comes. I see it as a big safety issue.
I see them hanging off the stop sign
Yes.
while they're waiting for the bus.
Chasing a ball.
Correct.
Yeah, to me, that's not a place to do that. We've said more than you could write.
No. No, I had a word I liked before.
Oh, very good.
It's not really that impressive, the word was specifically.
Sometimes it's late, the word eludes you.
Happens more the older you get.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because I would say would not. I think there's a threat to the.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Agree?
Yes, I said I agree. It's just kind of quiet.
Agree? Okay.
For the following reasons, the values surrounding properties would or would not be diminished. I would say would not.
I agree.
Agreed.
I agree.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from the properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision of the property because
I would say there is a.
There is,
agree.
yes. I agree.
And I think for the reasons expressed in 2 and 3 in this one, because 1 was different.
Correct.
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one. I would say it is. Bus stop
Shelters
shelter
are
is
reasonable.
Yeah.
Agree. Do we all agree?
The criteria in subparagraph A are not established, and unnecessary hardship will mean to exist if and only if owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish from the properties in the area. The property can or cannot reasonably be used in strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. I think the property can reasonably be used.
I would agree.
This could be located elsewhere.
I agree.
Ready for a motion?
I'd like to have a motion, please.
In case number 715-2026-9, I'd like to make a motion to deny the request for a variance for the failure to satisfy all 5 criteria.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So in case number 715-2026-9, the request for a variance was denied for failure to satisfy all 5 criteria. Thank you.
Thank you.
You ready for the last one?
Yep.
This is the green space one there, right?
Correct. Case number 715-2026-10. A request for a variance from LZO 4.3.3.B.1 to allow a bus stop shelter to encroach 16 feet into the required 30-foot green space in the C1 zoning district. The property is located at 52 Gilchrist Road, tax map 7, lot 7-74, Gilchrist Londonderry LLC, owner and applicant.
This is 16 feet into the, doesn't that seem?
It can't be, because
Yeah.
the other one changed. The other one was 46 feet as written, and it changed. This one's gonna have to be, I think, 25.4 feet in, if I'm doing
That
it
is
right.
correct.
Yeah.
See, I was like, wait, that doesn't make sense. That's-
You should make sure he represents that.
You want them to start?
Please do.
Good evening. George Chadwick with Bedford Design, here representing the applicant. Tonight, we're here to ask for a variance from section 4.33B, green space 1, of your zoning ordinance. It's to allow a bus shelter to be located 4.6 feet from the right-of-way line or 25.4 feet into the green space setback. For all the reasons I mentioned in the previous zoning application, I'd like to make them for the record.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on this for the applicant?
Just so I'm clear, when you say the previous, you mean case number 715-2026-9, the one that was immediately before this?
Before this, correct. Thank
Okay,
you.
so noted. Thank you. Any questions of the applicant for this request?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna take it out to the public. Anyone that would like to speak in favor of the applicant at this time, come to the podium. Let the record show there is no one. Anyone in opposition, please come to the podium. Let the record show there is no one. Bring it back to the board if we need to talk to the applicant for anything on this case, 715-2026-10. All right, I'll close deliberations, the public portion. Do we have anything to hash out, or we're gonna go through the 5?
We should incorporate by reference our discussion in case number 715-2026-9.
So noted, all previous discussion.
Did we have exhibits we used in that case that we would use for this one as well?
So exhibits A and B from the case 715-2026-9 are, they're still in that case, but they show the same structure that we're talking about here.
Okay.
So noted, okay. All right, let's go.
Granting the variance would or would not be contrary to the public interest because, I would say it would not. I don't think the location of the bus stop does not change the character of the neighborhood.
I agree.
Spirit of the ordinance would or would not be observed because I would say it would not. I think the location of the bus stop threatens health and safety, specifically anyone who's using the bus stop.
I agree.
Granting the variance would or would not do substantial justice because, I would say it would not. I think there's a loss to the public given the safety concerns that's greater than any gain to the applicant.
I agree. Those?
I took mine.
You do? I'm gonna keep mine for these.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right. I took mine.
Yeah.
So those are all.
For the following reasons, the values of the surrounding properties would or would not be diminished. I would say it would not. I don't think the location of the bus stop affects that.
I would agree.
Agree.
Still gives them shelter. Get some publicity because of it. I don't know if it's good publicity, but.
Owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area, denial of the variance would result in unnecessary hardship because there is or is not a fair and substantial relationship between the general public purpose of the ordinance provision and the specific application of that provision to the property. Because I would say there is for the reasons expressed in the responses to 2 and 3 above.
I
Agree.
Ariana, you agree? Perfect. We want to make sure we get it for the record.
Proposed use is or is not a reasonable one. I would say it is. Bus stop shelters are reasonable.
I agree with that as well.
I agree.
The criteria in subparagraph A are not established, and unnecessary hardship will be deemed to exist if and only if, owing to special conditions of the property that distinguish it from other properties in the area. The property can or cannot reasonably use strict conformance with the ordinance, and a variance is therefore necessary to enable a reasonable use of it. I would say it can be reasonably used because the bus stop shelter could be located elsewhere.
I agree.
Agree. Do I have a motion? Hmm?
I'm just
Oh, that's right.
Okay. Okay. In case number 715-2026-10, I'd like to make a motion to deny the request for a variance for the failure to satisfy all 5 criteria.
Do I have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
In case number 715-2026-10, the request for a variance was denied for failure to meet all 5 criteria.
Thank you.
Do we have any communications or miscellaneous? Us ever having
We don't consider it.
Here you go.
Thank you.
What do you mean, temporary?
Okay.
I
do
wonder,
need to talk about
I
getting
wonder
that
if you do
other
an
variance
administrative
Yep.
site plan review.
Well, that's a good point, yeah, because that was so early.
That's okay. So for the record,
I don't know if you'd have to go back before the board.
we will need
So you do it, just-
the
you
previous
just do it administratively.
variance for the case number 715-2026-5 and 715-2026-6, which is the address of, High Range.
On High Range.
High Range, 131 High Range Road.
Yeah.
So, we will need all of that
I think we
previous.
should get all prior zoning.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
prior zoning, so,
Agree.
all right, so that request will be made. I'll call the, office in the morning. And Nick, do we have any other communication or miscellaneous that you need to tell us about this evening?
Nothing on the record, no.
Nothing on the record. Other business? Do we have any other business? I don't.
I have no other business.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
I was late.
All those in favor? Aye. We are adjourned.